That's fine. Oh yeah, now it's come. This meeting is being live streamed. That 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 barcode comes.
Yeah,
Okay,
Nikunjas
now we
Prabhu
can
did
see
it,
live.
Mataji.
Yeah. Okay. So that way, Mataji, we know that when we, like both places are, it's going. So just thank you, Mataji. Thank you to Prabhuji for the service.
Yes, Mataji, thank you. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Humble obeisances to you, Prabhuji. Danat Pranam, all glory to Prabhupada Guru Maharaj. So we eagerly waiting for Mataji to start now. Mataji, please start at 7:30. Yeah.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Vacham Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Nityam Bhagavata Seva is very, very important. Doing regularly at a prescribed time in the association of devotees, discussing, hearing and chanting. Both are very important. So hearing Shravanam of Srimad Bhagavatam, unless we are very fortunate, we cannot do that regularly. Many of us, when we are doing regularly, we don't know the value of it sometimes. Many of us do it with a value, but many of us sometimes, if we, some days, sometimes we may be feeling it as an obligation, like, oh, I have to do it. But trust me, devotees, doing it regularly is the most auspicious thing that is happening to us in our lives. That too early in the morning, in the hours of Sattva Guna, where we are able to hear about the Lord. So, starting from there, we know now that Prahlad Maharaj has been tortured by his father in many ways. He tries many ways to kill him, by imprisoning him, by giving him poison, by starving him, by making an elephant go on him, by throwing him off the cliff, throwing him in the place where there's snakes or there. He is blinded by anger. So, we don't know sometimes. We think that the physical blindness is actually very difficult thing to live with. Physical blindness is definitely a difficult thing to live with, but there, other than physical blindness, many times we get blinded by other anger, our emotions, our envy, our jealousy. So if we see even in Bhagavad Gita, even though the Bhagavad Gita starts with Dhritarashtra, who is physically blind and who cannot see what is going on in the Kurukshetra war, he inquires from Sanjaya asking, what is going there when my sons and Pandu's sons have gathered? So by then we know that Dhritarashtra is not only physically blinded, he is also blinded with respect to dharma. Being an elder brother of Pandu Maharaj, he is supposed to take care of the kids of him when he is not alive. But he is so blinded, he is so attached to the kingdom that he wanted kingdom and he wanted his sons to enjoy kingdom, but not the sons of Pandu. So he is both spiritually, socially, mentally, in all ways blinded Dhritarashtra. He put a blind eye to his son's misdeeds and he passively encouraged him. And then we see Duryodhana's blindness, because Duryodhana grew with envy towards Pandavas all the time. And also he has an association, bad association around him. His brothers, Karna, Sekuni and all, they are all bad. So whatever the bad thought comes in his mind, they all just encouraged him to grow that. And we see Arjuna's blindness temporarily caused by the Lord. Arjuna was put in Maya temporarily to speak Bhagavad Gita. So here we see how Hiranyakasipu have done various attempts to kill Prahlada because he was blinded by his anger, his envy, his enmity towards Lord Vishnu. He is like so puffed up thinking, I could not make my own son pray to me, worship me, after the famous verse which Prahlad Maharaj speaks. What did you learn in the school? That's what Hiranyakashipu asked, lovingly keeping his son on his lap. And Prahlad Maharaj goes, Savanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam, Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu, Bhaktis Chain Navalakshana, Kriyate Bhagavatyadhya, Tanmanye Dhitam Uttamam. He says, like, one should dedicate their life to perform these 9 devotional services. And Hiranyakashipu becomes very angry. And then he calls the teachers, who are the sons of Sukracharya. You guys didn't teach properly to my son. You're teaching all nonsense things. You're teaching to worship my enemy. And then he forgets that he's his son. And he starts punishing him. And after all the failed attempts, when he was punishing, Prahlad Maharaj never asked Krishna, Krishna, please protect me. He is so confident Krishna is going to protect. Many times, the biggest thing that we all fail or don't have is faith on the Supreme Lord. The faith is something which is very dwindling for us. We think that I know better what is going to happen, what should be happening in my life. So I am going with a list to God and say that, can you please deliver this to me? I'm going to do devotional service. You deliver this to me. So we make a business contract with Krishna. Give me a good wife. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this service to you. Give me a good wife. I'm going to do this service to you. Give me a good children. I'm going to do this service to you. Make me healthy. So we always think that whatever we are desiring is the best thing that should be happening to us in our life. Little that we know, that we don't know what we have done in the past, what is the karma that is awaiting for us to suffer, and we don't know what will be the next minute in our life, what we are going to do or what is going to happen. And then we think that we are the best decision makers of our lives, and we doubt when Krishna does some things which we don't desire, happens sometimes in our life. So faith should be strong, and our faith becomes strong by constant listening and chanting of the holy names of the Lord. The more we know the Lord, the more we know the influence of the Lord, the more our faith increases. So when you're approaching somebody for help, if you know that that person is very influential, can do the things, and you will be like, very fearless, like, no, he will take care. He will do that. So similarly, we need to know more about the Lord. How do we know more about the Lord? By reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is actually Parabrahma speaking, Sabda Brahma. Krishna speaking about himself, about his energies, about this. So there can't be any more authentic scripture than that. And Bhagavatam is speaking about the examples of his devotees who have surrendered to him with complete faith. Especially Prahlad Maharaj, at that young age, is so surrendered to Lord. He's not scared of anything. Not single thing he was scared. Generally, 5-year-old kid is so scared. Prahlad Maharaj is so fearless. So one of the symptoms of that we are progressing in our spiritual life is we become fearless of the material things. So in this chapter, he is sent back to school because of after the failed attempts of killing him. Hiranyakasipu sends him to school again, and then Prahlad Maharaj is treated very well by his classmates, even though all of them are demons, and he preaches to his demonic schoolmates. He starts preaching to them, asking them not to waste their time in human form of life. So Prahlad Maharaj starts speaking. He asks them to make the right use of human form of life, and he also gives them examples how the human form of life is misused, and he instructs them again how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he concludes this chapter. Inquired from him more how his classmates asked him, how did you receive all this knowledge? Because this is not taught here in this school. Sukracharya's sons, they don't teach us this. How did you learn? Then he explains from where he has learned this. So this chapter is such a wonderful chapter. Prahlad Maharaj is instructing his demonic classmates, but then it is instruction for us also. Very, very, very beautiful and wonderful chapter. So we'll start with the first verse. Sri Prahraduvacha Kaumara Acharet Pragno Dharman Bhagavataniha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapyadruvam Arthadham. Wonderful. Sri Prahrada Uvacha. Prahlad Maharaj said, Kaumaraha, in the tender age of childhood, Acharet, should practice. Pragna, one who is intelligent. Dharman, occupational duties. Bhagavatan, which are devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Iha, in this life. Durlabham, very rarely obtained. Manusham, human. Janma, birth. Tat, that. Api, even. Adruvam, impermanent. Temporary. Arthadham, full of meaning. So Prahlada Maharaj started speaking. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life, in other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary, like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life, one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. Such an extra verse. Kaumara Acharet Pragno. Right from one's childhood, an intelligent person. Pragno, an intelligent person. So an intelligent person will practice devotional service from the age of Kaumara. So the human form of life, 1 to 5 years is called as Kaumara. 5 to 10 years is called as Pauganda. 10 to 15 is called as Kishora. Kishori. Krishna always reminds in that age. Yavana, above 15 years is called as Yavana. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying here that one should start at the age of Kaumara, the devotional service to the Lord. But this is not what usually we teach or we hear in the general public. They say that, oh, you enjoy, you play, you go and do everything that you can do with your human form of life. And everything is done after giving birth to kids, taking care of them and all the responsibilities of them. Then because you cannot do anything, you cannot move, you retired, so you don't have energy in your body. At that time, sit down and practice devotional service to the Lord. That is not the Mahabhagavata Prahlad Maharaj is advising. He's saying start it from the young age. One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of the life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved. This is the point many people do not know seriously, that human form of life is very easily achieved. Very often, when we don't know how rare is human form of life, we misuse it. All of us think, one time I was attending a funeral in India. I was just sitting, and then one old lady is sitting, and then somebody is feeling bad because she is the daughter-in-law of the person who has passed away, and she is expecting a baby. So this lady is advising that, like, no, don't worry, your baby is she's already into 3rd or 4th month, and the father-in-law has passed away, and she's telling, like, you don't worry, he's going to come back into your family again, because now you are conceiving. So she's guaranteed, she's like, she's telling, okay, so this is going to happen. And if you look at the life of that person, he is not a believer in God, and he's an atheist. And she's very confident that he's going to be born again as human. So that kind of an ignorance we all have. We think that if I die as a human, I'll be born again as a human. But that is not what the Shastra is saying. If you don't make use of the human form of life, all the activities that you have done when you are in human form of life, or is just eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, which animals also do, and the animals also derive same sense gratification, like how we are feeling, how we will feel happy, like when you are very hungry and somebody come and give you a delicious plate of full meals. By eating that, you get a satisfaction and you feel so happy and energetic. The same thing happens to any animal. When they are hungry, they eat. Whatever they eat, some animals may eat even the stool. They will derive the same happiness and satisfaction and sense gratification what we eat. Even the Devi Devatas, who eat more elevated food than us, even they will feel the same happiness. Of course, they have less hunger because of their body composition in heavenly planets. But the satisfaction is the same. So eating, sleeping, mating, defending, the sense gratification and the satisfaction that we get in any form of the material life is same, even though it looks different, like elevated. When we see, they have more pleasure, more enjoyment, but the satisfaction that we get, according to the body, that is the same. But when we compare, it looks like humans are more sophisticated, more civilized, and Devi Devatas are even more. They have less miseries. But if we spend all of our life in only these 4 things, and we use our intelligence to do demonic things, or we use our intelligence only to see how nicely I can eat, or how nicely I can sleep, what kind of a bed number or bed should I have, a bedroom environment should be I having, I should have a TV next to it, and I should not be getting up from my bed, and I can have everything automated, nice bed, nice temperature, nice comforter, all these things. And mating, like, having a beautiful wife or beautiful husband and enjoying. So Ayati, we all will get that story. Ayati, he has 2 wives, Devayani and Sarmista. After enjoying with them, he gets cursed to become, he has children with those 2 wives, and he has enjoyed with them for many number of years. After that, he will get cursed to become an old man. And he says that, no, I still did not enjoy anything. And he makes a deal with his children. Whoever is going to take my old age and give me the youth, I will make them the king. So one of his son agrees, and he exchanges his youth with his old age. And then he enjoys with his wives for another 1,000 more years. At that end, when he realizes that, he goes and tells to his children, like his child who has exchanged the youth with him, he gives back that, and he says, like, sense gratification is in the material body is like it's never ending. The more you enjoy, the more you feel like you want it more. It will never say that enough, you have enjoyed enough. It's like pouring ghee into the fire. As long as you pour ghee into the fire, it keeps burning. Fulfilling your desires one after the other is like pouring ghee into the fire. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says in 2nd chapter, like how a ocean, apuryamanam, that sloka where Krishna says that ocean is standing still, even though water is coming from the rivers all the time. In the same way, a person who is in Krishna consciousness, desires will be coming, but he won't act upon those desires. So he is the intelligent person who is not acting upon the material desires and standing still, not the one who is fulfilling those material desires one after the other, because material desires are like the water that is coming into the ocean, which never stops. That like a river flowing into the ocean. Material, as long as we have material body, material desires are not going to stop. So if you ever heard in any session or not in Krishna consciousness, anywhere else, when some people say that, oh, stop your desires, stop your thoughts, that's not going to happen. That's very difficult. Prabhupada writes in that purport. As long as material body is there, material desires are going to be there, period. To anybody, to a sannyasi, to a great devotee, anybody, the material body is there means material desires are going to be there. So what do we do? Then how do we deal? Either we have to spiritualize all those material desires or not act upon them intelligently using our jnana. That is very difficult. All the time you have to retrospect those desires and reject them. But if you can spiritualize those desires, connect them with Krishna, we will be already filtering our desires, because all desires cannot be offered to Krishna. So we will filter those desires and we take those desires and make them spiritualized. Then we don't need to worry about those desires, because those desires are not going to bind us. But if we start acting upon each and every desire for our sense gratification, those desires are binding us and making us take the human form of life again and again. So human form of life is very rare. If we do not act, if we do not engage in devotional service to the Lord, there is no guarantee of human form of life. Again, going back to 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is one verse where there is, it says that there is no loss if we engage ourselves in Buddhi Yoga. That means if we work and offer all our actions to Krishna, there is no loss, because at least we are guaranteed to get the human form of life. So unless we engage in devotional service to the Lord, human form of life is not guaranteed to us. If we do any good activities, if we are not engaged in devotional service to the Lord, and if we engage in good activities, there is a chance. Otherwise, if we are only in sense gratification, nowadays the selfishness increases. People are having increased selfishness. So most of the times they think about themselves rather than doing any service or anything. So if we engage ourselves all the time in our own sense gratification, human form of life is not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that if we die as a human, we will be born as a human. Unless we engage ourselves in devotional service of the Lord, human form of life is not guaranteed. So human form is durlabham manusha janma. Another problem that we have is like, if at all we go to the animal lives, because we see many people in the human form, they act as animals. They do sins like animals without following any dharma, killing people, kidnapping people, raping people. All these are animalistic tendencies. So if at all we go into the animal life, it is not that we have a choice there. Like, I'm born in a animal life. So I will do devotional service now, and then I'll get a human form of life, or I get liberated. It's very rare, because animals don't have that higher consciousness where they can question, who am I? What is my relationship with Krishna? So they have to patiently wait for uh, to live their life as a cat or as a dog. And there is a cycle, like there is a ladder, or there is a cycle. Like if you are born as a cat, your next life will be dog, then you will be born as a dog only. From a cat, you cannot be born immediately as a human. So there is a hierarchy there, and one after the other you will be born as an animal, and you have to live that entire life as an animal, and then you will get to the next stage. And whatever is the animal life that you will get in the next stage, that you have to do. And in the process of living as an animal, what happens? We get again attached to the animal kids, animal husband, animal wife, and then we engross ourselves in that, and we get attached to that. It's not that we will remember God in that life. So it's very dangerous situation once we come down the. Often we hear the word downfall in the lectures or in purports is this: falling down from human form of life to the animal lives. That is actually the downfall. Downfall doesn't mean that, oh, I used to be a millionaire, now I lost all my money, and I became I'm not having any money to live. That's not the downfall. The downfall scriptures speak is that use the human form of life, use your human intelligence, and start engaging yourself in the devotional service of the Lord, and inquiring who I am, what I should be doing, who is Krishna, what is my relationship with Krishna, what should I do, what should I not do, how I control my desires, how I control my senses. Do this inquiry. When we do this inquiry and start practicing the devotional service, whether we get successful or whether we fail in that doesn't matter. As long as we do this inquiry and we practice, human form of life is guaranteed for us. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj here is saying that human form of life is very rare. The human body is most rarely achieved. And although temporary like other bodies, human body is also temporary like any other material body, cat, dog, snake, any other body, elephant, human body is also temporary. But the difference is that we can make our human life meaningful. It is meaningful because in human life, one can perform devotional service. The biggest difference from the other material bodies is that in human form of life, we can do devotional service to the Lord. Even the people from the heavenly planets, they appreciate the human form of life because chances of performing devotional service to the Lord is very, 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 very high. Heavenly planets, the enjoyments, the pleasures they get there, they may get distracted, or sometimes they take care of the universe. They may get caught in that power proudness, like how often we see Indra gets proud that he thinks that he's the supreme god and he does mistakes. So human form of life is like the junction. If you all are from India, a station from where you can go left or right, and you can go to different places. Like from there, you can go anywhere. So human form of life is like that kind of a junction from where you are right now in the ladder, right now in the 14 planetary systems. We are on Earth in the middle. From here, we can directly go to the spiritual planets. We don't need to go to heaven, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, Brahmaloka, like that. We can, from human form of life, we can directly go to the spiritual planets. Golok, Vrindavan. We can get liberation and go there. Or from human form of life, we can go down the hellish planets, the down planets also. So either we can go down or go up in human form of life. Either we can be born as animals, or we can go back and get ourselves liberated, or go to the higher planets. So human form of life is at that junction point where we can do that. And human form we can perform devotional service. There is opportunity for all of us to perform in our own way devotional service. There are 9 ways of doing devotional service. And most important is chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Prabhupada says in that purport, like, you perform any of these 9, but always do the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Chanting of the holy names of the Lord is so simple, so sublime, so subtle, so powerful that it will deliver us. But many don't have that faith. They think that, it's just so simple. Let me do something big. We don't need to do big. Whatever is the prescription for Kali Yuga, that's what we have to do. When a doctor is giving you a prescription saying that this dosage is enough for you, if we argue with him saying, oh, you gave a higher dosage to my brother, give me that, we will be considered foolish. So if we say that, oh, I will be doing a tapasya like Dhruva Maharaj, or I will do yajna yagas like Prithu Maharaj, I will do 1,000 Aswamedha yajnas. That is all not prescribed for Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, we are born with certain kind of defects, and we have less age, we have less time. So we have to do a best bargain of the time that we have, and that is chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. So we don't need to worry. Like, many people do not engage in devotional service to the Lord, do not engage themselves in chanting of the holy names of the Lord. And often the excuse they give is like, if I start something, I want to do it perfectly. So I will wait for that time where I can do something as perfect, then I'll come and chant. Who knows whether we can live until then? Nobody knows. And we miss the opportunity. So today, now, this minute is the perfect minute. If we have time, we should chant now. We don't know next 5 minutes what's happened. And our mind does not cooperate. So that's why we should engage now. Now is the right and perfect time. And we are at the perfect stage, because devotional service to the Lord, chanting of the holy names to the Lord, does not require any qualification. We don't need to be giving up our family attachments. We don't need to go to a secluded place. We don't need to sit in a straight position. We just have to use our tongue and say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. With all the impurities that we have, with all the weaknesses that we have, with all the attachments that we have, with all the desires that we have, we just need to chant the holy names of the Lord, and Lord is going to purify us. The more desires that we have, the more we should be chanting, because the more sick we are, it is more important for us to go to see the doctor. The more material diseases we have, material desires that we have, it indicates that we are having that bhava roga, the material desire. So we need to chant more. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The whole purpose of Vedic civilization and of reading the Vedas is to attain the perfect stage of devotional service in the human form of life. According to the Vedic system, therefore, from the very beginning of the life, the Brahmacharya system is introduced so that from one's very childhood, from the age of 5 years, one can practice modifying one's human activities so as to engage perfectly in devotional service. So the whole Vedic system, Vedic civilization, reading of the Vedas is to attain perfection in devotional service. And from the young age, it is to be started. When you don't start something at an young age, it is so difficult to practice it at an older age. It is not possible to change ourselves at an old age. The more older that we are becoming, the more difficult it is for us to change. So according to the Vedic system, therefore, from the beginning of the life, the Brahmacharya system is introduced so that from one's very childhood, from the age of 5 years, one can practice modifying one's human life so as to engage in perfectly in devotional service. So from the childhood, we have to make all our activities, to do the service to the Lord. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. The most dangerous type of fear is falling down into the animal form of life, falling down from the human form of life. So even we engage ourselves a little in the devotional service in this life, we will be saved from that fear. So when Krishna is saying even engaging yourself a little, we should do it now. We should not say that I will do it later when I become old, because we cannot guarantee what kind of a mindset we will have when we become old, how much energy we will be having. Sometimes we may forget our own name as we get old. So it's very, 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 very important to engage in devotional service so that we can be freed from the most dangerous type of fear. Modern civilization, not referring to the verdicts of Vedic literature, is so cruel to the members of human society that instead of teaching children to become brahmachari, it teaches mothers to kill their children even in the womb on the plea of curbing the increase of population. So the modern civilization is propagating, advocating things completely against the Vedic scriptures. Killing the children in the womb, abortions, or after they are born, some children are killed. If they are a girl baby, some countries they kill the baby. Instead of teaching children to become brahmacharis, that means until 25 years of age, children needs to be taught to be celibate and engage all their energy, time, everything in knowing about the Vedic literature. Because the Vedic literature, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all these are meant to guide how we have to live our human form of life. It is not that, oh, I don't need them. I don't have faith. I don't have belief. It's not that. So when you are buying a TV, they give you a manual. So somebody says that, oh, I don't believe in your manual. I will use my own intelligence to build this. Then you may go wrong because they are telling you how the things should be built in that manual. So all these scriptures are like manual for the human form of life. They are teaching us, they are guiding us, they are helping us how we should be performed, how we have to be living our human form of life. And we are ignoring those. The more we ignore, the more we propagate the things which are considered as sins in the Vedic literature, and we convince the modern generation that my body, my belief, I'll do whatever I want with my body. I will engage in sense gratification, I will conceive children, and I will kill them. This is the mentality that we are growing. If we do not want children, we should stop engaging in the sense gratification in the first place, not afterwards. So this is very, very, very important to educate what Vedas are saying, because they are the manual, they are the guide for the human form of life. And if by any chance a child is saved, he is educated only for sense gratification. So Prabhupada is writing, by any chance you keep the child, you give birth to them, what we teach them from the childhood, you study well, you can enjoy your life. If you don't study well, you will not be able to enjoy. You will not get a good job. You have to live a life which is not full of facilities. So in my childhood, they used to say, like, if you don't study, you have to go and graze the cows or buffaloes. That is a famous line they used to say, like, study, otherwise you will become like one of those cowhead people who will graze the cows and buffaloes, and then you will not have any. So now we may change that phrase to something else. But this is what we are teaching the kids from the childhood, saying that, if you study, you can enjoy more. You can buy your own iPhone. You can have your big house. Become a doctor so that you will earn a lot of money and you will enjoy. Become an engineer. So always the lines that we use, we say that earning money, having material richness is what is going to give us happiness. Actually, we are guiding the kids completely in a wrong way. They are also very confused. Oh, I'm getting all these things all my life, but I'm not happy. They do the professions, they are not happy, because they were being told that earning money is the happiness. And we engage, we are actually throwing them. See, when we love somebody, we do the things that will give a long-term benefit to them. When we are pushing our kids to engage in sense gratification, we are giving them a temporary benefit. We are not giving them a long-term benefit. We are actually depriving them of human form of life. The more they go into sense gratification, the more they're going away to become humans. So we are actually doing a lot of injustice to them permanently, to their souls, when we are pushing them towards the sense gratification and not engaging them in devotional service to the Lord. So Prabhupada is saying is like, they are educated only for sense gratification. Gradually throughout the entire world, human society is losing interest in perfection of life. Indeed, men are living like cats and dogs. So the perfection of life, the goal of life is changed, is away from the Vedic scriptures. The Vedic scriptures are saying the goal of human form of life is to inquire about Krishna, inquire about who you are, establish your relationship with Krishna. But what we are taking the generation now, the human form of life is to earn a lot of money, enjoy with your money, and do whatever you want to do, because there is only one life. If you want to live with 4 or 5 people, go and live with them. You don't need to commit to a marriage. You don't need to give birth to the children. If children are a burden, you can kill them. You can do whatever you want. The only goal is that you have to enjoy. We are making demons. We are increasing the demonic tendency, and we are making them live like cats and dogs. Spoiling the duration of their human lives by actually preparing to transmigrate again to the degraded species among the 8.4 million forms of the life. So Prabhupada is writing, read this complete sentence in one way. Gradually throughout the entire world, human society is losing interest in the perfection of life. Indeed, men are living like cats and dogs, spoiling the duration of their human lives by actually preparing to transmigrate again to the degraded species among the 8.4 forms of life. So when we are pushing, when we are encouraging ourselves or our children to engage in the sense gratification and waste the time that we have got in human form of life, we are living like cats and dogs, and we are going to go down to the degraded species, and we will not get a human form of life. The Krishna consciousness movement is anxious to serve human society by teaching people to perform devotional service, which can save a human being being degraded again to animal life. So the Krishna consciousness life is very, very serious. People has to take the Krishna consciousness serious so that we won't go down to the animal species, and we will engage ourselves in the service of the Lord, and we can be guaranteed at least a human form of life, or we can go back, get liberated completely from these material forms. And for all that, what we have to do? We just have to listen. We have to hear and chant. Even that we find so difficulty. Sitting down and chanting is so difficult. It takes years and years to convince the people that this is the best thing. Please sit down and chant. Do not waste the human form of life. I have been counseling from last 1 month a devotee family who lost a family member. It is so difficult. Life is so sudden. You will be very healthy this moment, or you will have a lot of hope of living, and then by tomorrow morning, we don't know what will happen to us, whether we live or we not. So we can't take guarantee and waste our time that we got from human form of life. The reason Prahlad Maharaj is saying start engaging yourself in devotional service at the young age, when you are in Kaumara, when you are 5 years old, is because many die as young. We don't know whether we will be living, none of us know what is the end date of ours. So it's if somebody says that Thanksgiving sale is going to end as soon as the products are done, we all will rush to get when it is available. So we should have that urgency in the human form of life also. All of us think that my neighbor is dying, but I will live forever. No, we don't know when is that curtain is going to come down in our lives. So we have to feel that urgency. We have to see that urgency and say that I'm not going to waste a single minute of my life on nonsense things. We actually have so much of nonsense things. In earlier days, it was not that much, but now you have phone in your hand, that is enough to kill your time. We do so many things which does not make any sense to us. And then we waste all our time, and we are losing our time as human. The time as human is that what we are losing, which is very rare, which is very precious, which we can use and engage in devotional service and get ourselves elevated to the higher planets or go back to Krishna, Vaikunta. As already stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Bhagavata Dharma consists of Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. In all the schools, colleges and universities and at home, all children and youth should be taught to hear about Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, they should be taught to hear the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, to put them into practice in their lives, and thus to become strong in devotional service, free from fear of being degraded to animal life. So schools, colleges, universities should give time to engage the kids in devotional service. Unfortunately, we cannot control the schools, colleges, and universities. At least we should have an environment in our house where the children are forced, or children are encouraged, children are inspired to engage in chanting, in reading Bhagavad Gita, or in engaging themselves in the services like making garlands, cooking, cutting vegetables. So we need to teach that to kids. It's very difficult to teach the kids. We keep reminding them, even though they don't like it, they don't want it. But when we know that, when a doctor gives you a medicine, like in there is one steroid medicine they give when your child is having bronchitis or a very severe kind of infection to cure faster. They give prednisone or something, which is not taste, which have a very bitter taste, or kids don't like that taste. And you brought that medicine, you have to give to your child, and your child is complaining that, oh, this is not tasty, I'm not going to drink this medicine. Then you will not stop. You will find a way. You will give a sweet, or you will give a candy, or you will promise something saying that, oh, you take this medicine, I'm going to take you to park, I'm going to do favorite things. Somehow or the other, you convince that kid to take that medicine because you believe that is going to do good for that child, taking that medicine. In the same way, parents has to believe that engaging children in the devotional service to the Lord is the best thing that we are doing for them and best for them. Then they will find a way to make their children engage in devotional service. If parents themselves don't have faith, don't have belief, then it's so difficult. We find all kinds of excuses not doing, or we get tired sooner after attempting one or two times. So we should try our best as long as they have the inclination. Sometimes they may need to be told in a different way. And unless they come back and say they become old enough, and see, when as they grow, to convince them becomes difficult. But when they are young, it is very easy to engage them in Krishna's service. Very, very easy. There are 100 different ways. Like if you are offering strawberries to Krishna, you can just ask your kid, come, let's wash the strawberries and offer. So in that way, they get engaged in devotional service to the Lord. So many ways we can make them, like they like stories, so we can read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayanam, Mahabharata, and bring all those stories and nicely narrate to them. That becomes a devotional service to the Lord. Take them around to vacations and mix it with temple visits. That becomes devotional service. So in that way, if we don't do to the kids, it becomes so difficult when they grow to accept that. So we have to find a way to engage our children from an young age, and ourselves also always in the service of the Lord, so that we can free from the fear. The greatest fear is that we may go back into the animal species. So we will be saving ourselves from that greatest fear by engaging ourselves in the devotional service to the Lord. Following Bhagavata Dharma has been made extremely easy in the age of Kali. So to follow Bhagavata Dharma is very easy in Kali. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalau nasteva, nastieva, nastieva, ghatir anyadha. One need only chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everyone engaged in the practice of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra will be completely cleansed from the core of his heart and be saved from the cycle of birth and death. So our heart needs cleaning. So you all may be wondering why our heart needs cleaning. I am not a bad person. I'm a very good person, helping person. But we all have that. We all have inside us lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion. We are not free from that. And also another thing that we all have is that we think that we are this body. We engage in activities that gives pleasure to this body. We all forgot that we are spiritual souls. The biggest problem is that we all have our spiritual body right now, but that is covered by the layers and layers of material body. And we are all thinking that we are this material body and acting in that. When we are chanting the holy names of the Lord, when we are engaging ourselves in Sravanam and Kirtanam, we are actually acting as a soul. And what is the dharma of the soul? The soul's constitution, the dharma is to engage in devotional service to the Lord. And what is the designation of the soul? The designation of the soul is that it is the servant of the Lord. Soul is not man or woman or American or an Indian or a manager or a wife or a children. Soul's only designation, only relationship is with Lord as a servant of the Lord. So right now we forgot that, and we are engaging ourselves in what we are not, that is these bodies. Shastra is saying that, and we may not be realizing that we are soul because we are covered with these impurities in our heart. And when we clean our heart of these impurities, we will see ourselves clearly. We will see ourselves as the eternal spirit souls. That happens only after we clean our heart. And the best way to clean our heart is chanting of the holy names of the Lord. And all these scripture, all these classes, hearing should help us to chant the holy names of the Lord nicely, should help us to gain faith in Krishna, gain faith in holy names of the Lord. Holy names of the Lord are more powerful than Krishna because they help us to obtain Krishna Prema. So we all, knowing the urgency of this, have to prioritize our spiritual life. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Kaumara acharet pragno, intelligent people start practicing devotional service from the age of Kaumara. Dharman Bhagavatan iha, should perform devotional service in the life. Bhagavata Dharma, that is chanting of the holy names of the Lord for Kali Yuga, has to be performed from Kaumara. Durlabham Manusha Janma. Why we have to perform from young age? Because human form of life is Durlabham, not easily available. And it can be taken away from us at any point of time. We don't know how much time we have. If at all we know, if we all have a sticker on our head, this is the time you are going to die, Maybe we take human form of life serious, but unfortunately, we don't have that. So, Dullabham Manusha Janma. Not only we don't know when we are going to die, and we also don't know after dying whether we will get again human form of life. So, obtaining a human form of life is also very rare. So, for that sake, we have to engage ourselves very young. Tadapya adhruvam arthadam. Human form of life is temporary, so make it meaningful, make it effective by practicing bhakti. So that is what here Prahlad Maharaj is saying. Like how King Katwanga, he helps Devi Devtas to fight against demons. And they all say, they all come back to King Katwanga and they say, we are going to give you a benediction. Desire whatever you want. Like you want something, tell me. What you want, tell. We are going to give you a benediction. Then King Katwanga asks, can you please tell me how much life I have in this body? Then they will say, one muhurtam, 1 minute, you have only that much time. Then they ask, he did not ask them, increase my life, give me something else, material. He just left everything and he surrendered to Krishna immediately. And he went back to Vaikunta. Same Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by the Brahmin boy to die in 7 days. And the boy's father, Samik Rishi, he sends information to Parikshit Maharaj that you are going to die in 7 days. Then Parikshit Maharaj immediately gave his kingdom to his son, Janmejaya. He went to the bank of Ganga. He sat down in asana and he said, all the rishis from all the planets have come there. And he told all of them, I have now desire to listen to Krishna Katha. And I'm going to leave my life, leave my body listening to Krishna Katha. He says like that. And he also inquires, he also tells them that, he tells them his opinion and he asks their opinion on that. And he asks, what should a person, especially who is going to die, should perform? What is the dharma of a person who is going to die? What should he do? It is just not for Parikshit Maharaj because he got a notice of death. It is for all of us. Because every minute we are dying and all of us are going to die too. Maybe some of us may die before, some of us may die later, but all of us are going to die. So Parikshit Maharaj asks all the rishis there, what should a person who is going to die do? And then they all desire in heart, we want Sukadev Goswami to come and tell the Bhagavata Dharma so that Parikshit Maharaj can achieve the goal that he is thinking. So all of them has perfected their life. We also can do that. Nothing is stopping us. The only thing that is stopping us is our own material desires, which are never ending. How much ever we fulfill, they will never end. If we have 100K, we want 200K. If we have 1 million, we have 10 millions. If we are healthy today, so I was counseling a family. So that person is sick from last 30, 40 years. And every time he becomes severely sick, the whole family will go do a lot of pujas and then he will be saved. He's not an young person. He's old enough. He married. He got his children married, and he also got his grandchildren married. And he was sick. He's supposed to go to hospital. He went to hospital, and they said, you have to be admitted. You are having less oxygen levels because he has some condition where he's not able to breathe properly. He said, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. I'll make all the arrangements and I'll come back tomorrow. So he came home, he slept, he spent a nice family time until 12 o'clock in the midnight, and he slept. Wife slept in another room because she's not comfortable to have air condition or something. So she slept in another room. So he put an alarm to get up at 5 o'clock and go to hospital. The alarm rang. He got cough. And before the wife come from another room, he left the body and he died. So the question now that Mataji asked me, I've been talking, like, he has saved him from all these years, and I have been doing all the pujas, all the chanting. Why did not he save him now? So I asked her, why are you thinking it is not saving? Because somebody who is so sick has passed away peacefully, like not being in the hospital, bedridden for years and years. He passed away so peacefully, finishing all his things that he has to do. He performed everything, and he has been saved all those years to perform all his responsibilities. He has been saved 40, 50 times, and we complain that he is not saved 41st time. So that is the nature of the human form of life. We never say, enough, I have lived my life enough, I am ready to go back. We want to live one more day, even if it is that our body is not cooperating, we are not able to hear, we are not able to see. However old we become, we always have to desire to live one more day. For what? Not to engage in devotional service, not to serve Lord, but to enjoy more the sense gratification. So it's never ending. How many times? It's never ending. Our material desires are like a river flowing into the ocean. We will never stop them. We will never. The only obstacle that is making us not to make human form of life perfect is our desires. So if we can control engaging ourselves in fulfilling our material desires and use the time and energy that we have in the service of the Lord, the benefit that we are going to get is not at all comparable to the desires that we are fulfilling. Because we are going to go back to the spiritual world where we don't need to die, where we don't need to take birth again, where we don't need to take different bodies. And we will be always happy engaging ourselves in the service of the Lord. But we are not seeing that big good, and we are exchanging our valuable time for temporary things, which won't give us a long-lasting happiness also. If fulfilling one desire is going to give us long-lasting happiness, we should not be looking at another desire. After fulfilling one desire, immediately our heart says that, oh, now you have to fulfill another desire. And after fulfilling that, it will give one more desire. So there is no end. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that an intelligent person is somebody who stays steady like an ocean, which is not disturbed even how many ever water is coming into the ocean. Not the person who is engaging in fulfilling desires, but the person who is controlling his sense gratification and engaging his senses in the service of Krishna. He is the intelligent person. Krishna says, Prajna Pratishta. A person who controls his senses is actually an intelligent person. Apuryamanam achala pratistam. Samudram pravishanti advat. Tadvad khamayam pravishanti sarve sasantim apnoti nakamakami. Nakamakami. Prajna pratistam. Not the person who fulfills all the desires is intelligence, but the person who controls. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled, but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy desires. So we will be achieving peace only when we don't act upon the desires. How do I do that, Mataji? It's so difficult. So how do we do that? We put a filter. A desire is coming, and our mind is saying you have to fulfill this desire. Then we will start analyzing that desire. If I engage myself in this desire, will it going to help me in my devotional service, or will this give pleasure to Krishna? Then I will engage in that. If it is not going to give pleasure to Krishna, or it will take me away from Krishna, I am not going to engage in this devotional service, in this desire. So we should have that filter implanted in our heart, our mind, not acting as soon as a desire comes. We have to pause and we have to ask this question to ourselves. By doing this, will be Krishna happy? Will this give pleasure to Krishna? Will this make me progress in my devotional service? Will it make me use my human form of life meaningful? Will it help me to perfect human form of life? Then I will engage in this. If it is not, I am going to reject it. So when you are rejecting, you may feel sad because you have impressions of enjoying that desire. But now your mind registers a rejection. So next time when it comes, your mind sees, oh, 10 times I have asked to fulfill this desire. 9 times this desire is fulfilled. 1 time this desire is rejected. So it comes with an expectation that you will either accept or reject. And now you have rejected again. 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 And now the mind remembers that 10 times I asked this desire, 9 times it was rejected, and only 1 time it is fulfilled. So there are high chances of this desire getting rejected. So don't feel bad. So when you get a rejection, you will not feel bad. So you have to teach your mind that you are not going to act upon this desire. Then next time it will not propose that desire to you. Right now, from so many lifetimes, our mind is registering impressions of enjoying this material body. Now that we know we are practicing devotional service, we have to teach our mind that we will engage in devotional service. That happens when we practice. When we keep practicing, then our mind remembers that, and we are making this life happy and also our next lives happy. So engaging ourselves in devotional service is going to make us better and better, not worse and worse. With that note, I will stop here. If anybody have any questions or comments or corrections, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, my Danat Pranam to you, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Wonderful, inspiring class. We really got into the mood now how we'll be hearing about Prahlad Maharaj through you. And, and all the age that you mentioned, that 5 years, that's almost when the children are entering kindergarten, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is a time when they need to, when they start reading actually.
Mm-hmm.
ABCD, and that is the time they should also read the scriptures, like books of Krishna and all these things. So very inspiring. So Mataji, one question comes to my mind is like, if we, you mentioned in your class that, we have to make sure that I think somewhere even in the same line, Srila Prabhupada mentions that the schools are slaughterhouses, they're like slaughterhouse because they are teaching all wrong things and then, earn money, think about yourself, and then do sense gratification and lead that animalistic life. But still, I'm seeing that everyone, devotees, they're still sending their children to school. Everything is happening. Yes, there are some devotees who have moved, especially for their children. The children are studying in Gurukul now, and they want to take up an occupation in which they can serve Srila Prabhupada's movement, And we've seen so many brahmacharis who are very, very highly educated in ISKCON, and now they have done jobs, satisfied the parents, but then they left for a higher purpose. So, for the material, so we hear so much, but then, it's everybody's still continuing in the same public schools. The children are going, and then, children are told to take higher education. So then, they can have a car, nice house, everything like that. It's continuing. And I'm just speaking in reference to Indian families, which I know being an Indian body, I see this trend is so strong among the Indian families. Even in Americans, it is there, but there, like children are more left independent after the age of, I think, 18. And some of them move out, they start taking up. There's so many boys and girls I meet in Walmart, other places, and they're 18, they're 19, and they're doing job, in the Walmart and in so many places. And then I asked them, you stay with your parents? They said, no, At the age of 18, they have their own, own place. They've like rented a room, they stay there, they earn, and some of them are studying too. So it's like very independent kind of life, and parents are busy. They said, okay. And here it's so ironical that, when the kids are really small, this is my observation. Maybe I could be wrong. In America, how I saw it in the school system and everything, in lifestyle, when the children are very small, they really take care. They'll get all these gadgets, chairs, walking chair, and even if you go to like a playground, they're taking care, and there's a mother or some caretaker, and elementary school also, lot of care. In the middle school, the parents are there, and we often hear that, oh, middle school is so hard, because I know some friends of mine who do subbing, and they don't want to go to middle school because it's quite crazy there, scene, because the parents have kind of left the children that time. And by the time then high school, some children who are coming from professional background, where the parents are working, they have a doctor's, a boy with a father doctor has seen, and mother also doctor say, has seen mother father working. So then he also is seriously studying in high school and wants to do well. But then majority, you will see that they are like, the parents have left them to the middle school and high school, and children are on their own. But I think it's a reverse order for them from the Indian community. There, of course, they take care when they're small, but then they are also concerned about that. But I don't know what point I was trying to say. Like, what I meant is, like, children have to be really taken care of, and more when they are making some decisions in high school and college and other times, and so like, time and again we hear this. But how many people are teaching the children in Gurukula? How many people are actually really following what the Shastras are saying? Like, my own personal experience has not been very good with public school with both my daughters, and I always pray that in future, when my elder daughter has, say, children, I would not advise her to go to public school at all, because there's no learning there. So it's better to even move to Mayapur or somewhere else, and stay there, and then follow as Srila Prabhupada said, because the eating, what they're teaching, it's very, very polluting, So that's my question, Mataji. Like, in spite of hearing, still so many devotees are sending their children. Is it because they're helpless, or there's a situation where they have a job and they cannot put them in a Gurukul? What does your experience say? I'm sorry for prolonging the question, but I'm just
No,
I'm coming to the point of just speaking about reality.
Yeah, true. That's the reality.
Yeah.
So if all of us here, but all of us follow differently. So there in a class, see, there are so many things that we cannot follow. We were not able to follow, because again, it depends on our surrenderance level. All of us surrender differently. Some people who are completely surrender, give up everything, they take and they go into gurukulas, they engage they are completely, they understood the importance of human form of life in fullest, and they don't want to waste any minute in any kind of material enjoyment, and they want completely surrender to the Lord and make use of the human form of life, and they do. Not all of us are at that level, because all of us are at different levels in our devotional service. Because if you take a devotional service as like 1 to 100, somebody who is at a 99 level, they get that conviction, they completely surrender, they give up all the material things, they go and live in Mayapur or holy places and completely dedicate their lives, and they don't do anything else. Some of us may not be able to do because of so many things. Some may don't have a family support, or some may don't have that conviction. Some may want to be in the material life and also do that. So, but if we go back to the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, as a devotees, Prabhupada encouraged all of us to go and be in temples and gurukulas and all. At the same time, we can practice being in this world. It's more challenging. If you are in a gurukula, or if you are in an environment where there are more devotees, because the environment completely is Krishna consciousness, practicing becomes more easy. the more you are into the material world, practicing becomes like taking your boat opposite direction of the wind. It becomes very difficult. So we have to be even more stronger. But we don't need to boycott anything material, saying that this is material, I want to go and use something in spiritual. We can use everything in service of Krishna. So if you're getting a material education, if you're somebody who studies very well, we can study very well, we can get that degree, and we from there we can use that in the service of Krishna. So if you're somebody who is capable of getting a big job and earn money, then we can use 50% of that money in building temples. Not everybody is capable of studying well. So those who are capable of studying well can study well, earn well, and use it in service of Krishna. So we can use anything and everything that is material in service of Krishna. But we need to know to how to use it. We should not get caught up in using it in material. So many people are not able to go to Gurukulas because we may not be completely convinced of human form of life, and then we want to be here and earning and living our livelihood and want to try both material life and spiritual life. And coming to the children, to make children listen is very difficult. It's not that parents don't want, parents want, but children may not listen. So it's their age, their teenage, or whatever it is, they don't listen. And parents also may get tired after trying a couple of times how to make the children listen. So we can't completely say that, oh, you have to make your children listen and you could not do it. We cannot say that they did not try also. They might be trying, and the children might not be listening. The one thing that we can do is give Krishna to them, ask them to chant, ask them to listen to Krishna. So the only time that we have is when they are with us, when they are young, before their teenage, and they will listen very nicely. That is the best time we can put that seed of devotional service in their hearts. So if we are successful in keeping that seed of devotional service in their hearts, it is their responsibility now to grow that seed. So because we don't have it is not that we can control, just because we have given birth to the children, it's not that we have full control on their lives. We can only assist them to make their human form of life successful. We can't protect them always. We can't go with them everywhere. We can't dictate and dedicate their lives every minute. They get suffocated. They'll just hate us. They don't want us to do that. In turn, what we should do is we have to give them intelligence. We have to give them a power to make choices on their own when we are not there also. That is very important. We won't be staying forever with them always. And so we have to tell them when they are with us what is right, what is wrong, and how can they make right decisions. So we can remind them the rareness of the human form of life. We can tell them to chant. We can tell them that you don't need to leave everything. And that is the beauty of the devotional service, right? All the other paths, yoga and all, you leave everything and then you'll go to a secluded place and practice. So going to Gurukula and all is also similar, like, going away from the material life and go. So Krishna know that not everybody can do that. That's why he has given us this devotional service, which we can do from wherever we are, whatever stage we are. We may be a completely materialistic person. Still we can chant the holy names of the Lord and we can purify. So instead of worrying or feeling guilty about what we are not doing, my suggestion always to any devotees who come to me, who talk to me, and to myself, being a mother of 3 kids, to my kids also, I always tell only one thing. I never tell them that study well, you have to earn well, do this. I don't say that. They are in universities. They are big children now, little bit. So the only thing that I tell to all of them is never forget Krishna. Keep chanting the holy names of the Lord. If they do that properly, if they are taking that medicine properly, things will be set. If we take medicine properly and stop doing the do nots, which are very important, is 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. If these four things are do nots, and do's is chanting the holy names of the Lord. If we do these two things, remaining all of things will slowly fall in place. If we keep the perfect goal first, we will not be able to achieve, because we are at an imperfect stage right now. So we have to go to that perfect stage of leaving everything and going to Gurukula. Is a perfect stage, idealistic stage, which may not be possible by all of us, depending on our conditioning, because we have been in this material life from so many lifetimes. And some of us may be in our devotional step at step 1. Some of us may be at 50 steps. Some of us may be at the 99 step. They are very close to perfection. So they can leave everything and go to the perfect life. But some of us may be at a first step. So if we leave at first step saying that, oh, I'm going to leave everything material and go, we may be immaturely renunciating and we may fall down. So it has to happen automatically. For that to happen automatically, first we have to do the do's and do nots. Do's is chanting the holy names of the Lord, and do nots is following these four principles, four regulative principles. And when we are doing this, when we have a guru, when we are serving Guru and Krishna by chanting, we will definitely go to that stage where we will become perfect. We'll make our human form of life perfect. So that's why Prabhupada did not keep so many things. Those are the idealistic things, because there may be somebody who wants to follow the idealistic thing. So the ideal, the perfect, the first thing is already told. This is the best, first best. This is the first bet. Even Krishna says in 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the first best is you always think about me and you practice devotional service, you surrender to me. So that is the first best option. So he did not say, he did not give only one option for us. Immediately he goes and says, if you cannot do this, follow the four regulative principles of devotional service and chant the holy names. And he says, if you also cannot do that, if you cannot follow the four regulative principles, at least dedicate your actions to me. After performing the actions, dedicate them to me. So Krishna himself gives a perfect solution. And after that, oh, if you cannot do this, do this. 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 So we should not get disappointed that, oh, I can't do the perfect thing, so I'll completely give up and I'll become an atheist and I'll become somebody nonsense. We should not. So we should try whatever is we can in wherever we are, remembering Krishna, chanting the holy names of the Lord, and then slowly we'll go up. Because that is how this material world is, material challenges or material desires or material attractions are. So we may take time. So, but the important thing that we tell to anybody is like chant. Don't give up chanting. So that helps us.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji, for explaining the last bit, that, at least we tell them this. And, one more thing I wanted to add to this, if you can answer that. Like, for example, there are children here who are born citizens, right? So then they go through the elementary, middle, and high school. And in the high school, what happens generally, first time, in the first term, they go and stay in the dorm, right? They have dorm.
The purpose of human life is for the for sense gratification, and then accordingly we are also training our children like that. And generally conception in the society is that spirituality or devotion is for the old age, but they don't understand that at the old age the ear cannot hear, there will be pain everywhere in the body, and then the eyes cannot see the Lord's form, and the mind will be going here and there, and the unfulfilled material desires will always haunt. So there is no remembrance of Krishna. So that is very important. That Prabhupada said, there's a very old. It's very difficult to bend an old bamboo than to mend a young bamboo. So it's very important to be aware of this current verse and reflect. Hare Krishna Mataji, your station is so much valued. New class is so nice. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Krishna's mercy and Guru's mercy. Mataji, I did not hear your second question that you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I always like Partha Prabhu's comments. He always,
Yes, Prabhu.
with such nice comments and answers the questions. So I was just talking about another very practical aspect, coming to the point where this is my observation. I came to USA in 2002. Of course, I didn't join the movement till 2008. So 6 years, I was in USA and I was going through the process where observing what's going on. So yeah, like I said, they go through the elementary. Some of the children here, Indian children, they are citizens, and some of them come outside. So then, their paperwork issues there, where the child is not yet. Child is on like a dependent status, and like H4 and other things, R4, all these things are there. And then there are some Indian children who are citizens, they're born here. So what I'm understanding is, like, after the 12th grade, they go to the dorm. They stay in the dorm because otherwise, sometimes universities are far away. From the dorm, they move into their own apartment, and then, other things they do, internship and this and that. So in the college, like you mentioned, your children are also in college. So now, some of the parents are very, very apprehensive. They feel that, I don't know if it's the right word or not. They're very doubtful whether, should we make our children Krishna conscious, because, when they go in the dorm and, anyway, it's very hard to, first of all, find vegetarian food. Then on top of vegetarian food, they have to eat without onion, garlic. And then, this vegan trend is there, which is not really supported by ISKCON, because, we eat milk products. Of course, we offer milk, and so many milk products are offered. And how Srila Prabhupada always says that so many sweets and so many items can be made with milk only. Curd, paneer, sweets, so much, we is a big part of our bhoga offering in temples and home. So, like, what I meant to say is that in a situation like this, even if we are telling our children, yes, like you said, follow the regulations, chant, but when it comes to the eating, isn't it hard for the devotee children to won't it kind of suffocate them? Or is it like the parents have to literally be with them all the time when they're in college? How do they get trained? Because, it's, I mean, just think of it. If a child is a devotee child and there's non-devotee child, by devotee, non-devotee means, I mean, everybody is devotee, but not following Krishna consciousness, not following ISKCON Hare Krishna movement. So that child will just, even if he's vegetarian, he will eat everything, he will find anything, but for the other children, it becomes a little bit hard. So there are a lot of families which I preach to, and when they came to know about our diet and everything, they were like, "Arey Baba, it's not possible right now. What will our children do? How will they manage? They have to first rug it out in the dorm. They have to stay there. There they learn independence. Then the freshmen, and then they go here, there. So then I sometimes wonder, what is the course which devotees children take, and how are they able to manage? Of course, there are a lot of children who are homeschooled and completely sheltered, but there are some are not. So can you explain a little bit in reference to the prasadam and how these children after the 12th, how do they manage, Mataji?
Yeah, there are many options, Mataji. Even like people often think that when we say we are traveling, how you manage food, where there are many options. Even in nowadays, vegetarianism is not that big difficult. Colleges do have vegetarian food options, and then they can eat from there. Vegetarian options are available in all the colleges, like, and if not our colleges, even the Walmart and all, you find so many vegetarian options. It's just that you have to put some extra effort. Like, you all know, I heard in an interview, somebody forwarded me, like, see, the most important thing when we eat prasadam from childhood, already that conviction comes that the taste for prasadam gets developed. And then when they see their parents, when they're traveling, finding options to eat vegetarian foods, the kids also learn that, oh, I also should find vegetarian food options wherever I go. They don't find it difficult. So that if parents are not doing, then the kids don't do. If parents are showing a double standard, like it at home they eat, but outside they eat whatever is available, then the children also think that I can do that too. So if parents are trying to find options, and parents are doing, they will already learn like how I can find a vegetarian option. And if, when they are with us, we can always teach them how to find that, how to find those options, how to find options and fill their tummy and all those things. That we can do. And see, it is all again comes to the point how seriously we want to practice. If let's say the same people, if the doctor says that, oh, if you eat even one bite of non-vegetarian, you're going to die tomorrow, then people will stop eating. They will not, you don't need to convince them at all, because life is very dear to the people. So they will immediately follow it. Like, oh, I don't want to die, I'll follow. That means they can do it. It's just that whether they want to do it for Krishna or not. So when we are chanting, we develop that love for Krishna, we develop that that relationship with Krishna, then we will be ready to do anything for Krishna. So the more that we should focus when they go, before they go to college, is to establish that relationship with Krishna, make them practice. So I do often get questions from my children like, oh, they are also Indians, they are also going to temple, but why don't they follow this and why we have to follow this? So I keep telling them, like, because Krishna likes these things and Krishna is saying this, but they are not trying to practice, and we are trying to practice for the pleasure of Krishna. So make Krishna an integral part of their life and establish a relationship with him and do the things for him. Once they start loving him, they will do. So even it is difficult. It is very, very difficult. And when there is no other option, you have to survive. Then you can eat with onion and garlic. But most of the times we don't even look for options in the first place. And I have been living in US from so many years and I travel a lot. I always found an option to fill my tummy. If we know that we are not living to eat, but we are eating to live, we will find options. If not, then we won't find options. We will find only excuses. Even for, even for not going and living in Gurukul also, we are finding excuses only, right? Like, we want to enjoy material life, we want to enjoy this. So human form of life is very rare. The time that we have is very rare. A teacher will tell in a class in the same way, but the student who is very sincere, who wants to progress, he will listen, he will make a notes. The last bench student will not do. So like that, there are different gradations of people and devotees. If we want to follow something, there is only one reason to follow it. If we don't want to follow, there are 100 reasons not to follow. Even if you answer all the 99 reasons also, that 100th reason they will keep and they don't want to follow. So I was listening to Virat Kohli's lecture, and Virat Kohli was a non-vegetarian, and suddenly he had some issue, and then he stopped eating. And he was telling, like, to be performing well in cricket, one of a devotee was sharing with me, he can eat the same food every day, no varieties also. He can eat the same food every day to keep himself fit and perform. So it's just you need to find that cause to do that for Krishna. So I'm not going to eat because Krishna said that I should not be eating, then we will not do that. It's not that we are deprived of any taste. We have all the taste in vegetarianism and everything. We just complain because we want to. So if we live for eating, then we eat everything and anything. Tomorrow we may eat human beings also. There is no difference. But if we understand that I am eating to live, living is more important, then we'll eat anything.
Thank you, Mataji. Wonderful answer. And that reminded me, I wanted to add one more point to my own question is, one time I had gone, to the point that Krishna reminded, I had gone to Krishna house and I got down and they have this, it was Ekadashi day. So the whole plate of prasadam, which was like grain prasad, I put and I sat there. And I was about to take the first bite. And suddenly one devotee came and said, Mataji, we have separate Ekadashi. And I had not jhuta karod the prasadam, And I was like, oh, I said, I forgot, because I had traveled and come, my mind was tired. And I immediately picked up the prasadam plate and I was eating. Then I realized that it was my first meal. It was around lunchtime. Then immediately I was like, I really felt that, Krishna saved me. Because he knows I keep prasadam, I keep Ekadashi, and they have elaborate, this thing there. And suddenly he sent this devotee, like, although I'm just a servant of Krishna, but then, Krishna takes care of his servants too. So, and I was like thinking that, wow, I was so happy, that I was saved from breaking the, and taking grain and all, which you're not allowed to take on Ekadashi. So, yes, Krishna gives that intelligence to us. And so that is also like, I mean, we have to listen to that intelligence, like, and of course, many other things we should do. When we get up in the morning, first thing we should see, because last time what happened the last month, I missed some of the fast of the acharyas, the noon fast, and I felt so bad. So then I said, okay, no, I have to make some changes. So I like, somehow Krishna gives intelligence in this unintelligent mind. And when I come to my kitchen in the morning, I just, first thing I do is I see the calendar, that what is it today? Like, that's the first thing I do before I start, like our ISKCON Orlando calendar. And then I start this thing, because I made a mistake by missing one of the fast. So thank you so much, Mataji, for your association class and the question answers. And I'm really happy to hear, and especially the last question. We have to not concentrate so much on, like eating, but we just have to kind of eat to keep the body and soul together. That is the main goal. And we'll always find options of prasadam food some way or the other. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, such a wonderful class. As always, we are looking forward to hear your classes more. So, and with the conviction of chanting Harinam. So, thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Krishna's mercy. Maharaj's mercy.
Thank you, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you for wonderful and nice question answer session. Rupini Padma Mataji started the question. Actually, yes, this question is very like intense about the education and how the kids has to develop themselves. But again, if we consider the material world and the need, like even Prabhupada has allowed the Grahastha Ashrama. So in that, if we follow everything what Prabhupada has taught and at the same time balance the material and spiritual life effectively, perfectly, then I think it should not be a problem. That's what is my thinking. Again, like it can, you can
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhupada often says, we can use everything material in Krishna's service. We don't need to boycott, or we don't need to say that, oh, this is material. Anything and everything, if we have Krishna in center, we can use it in Krishna's service. Because we cannot leave this world and go somewhere else. We are inside this world. We are seeing all the challenges. We just have to keep Krishna in the center and use everything in Krishna's service. Anything, like if you are somebody who can generate lot of wealth, you cannot say that, oh, I will give up all my wealth and I'll go and sit in an ashram. You can use that wealth. You can use that wealth in building Krishna's temples. Prabhupada writes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also. If you are a rich person, dedicate your 50% of money in building temples, distributing prasadam, doing things, because not everybody can do that, right? Like some of them, if those who can do like that, then some devotees can completely dedicate themselves to read shastras and educate the people, because they are not earning. Like the society is like that. The Varnashrama system was like that. Brahmanas were not supposed to earn money because they have to dedicate all their life in reading scriptures and all. But the Kshatriyas cannot say that I will give up the kingdom and I'll go and beg. That the biggest problem Arjuna did. Arjuna said, I'm not going to fight. I'm going to give up, and I will go and sit and beg and live at the mercy of Dhritarashtra's, Duryodhana's sons. And Krishna said, what kind of impurities you have? So Krishna did said, oh, very good job. Give up everything and come and sit down. Every one of us has to do what we have to do, keeping in Krishna in center and using it for Krishna's service. So if somebody can generate wealth, they should generate the wealth and use it in Krishna's service. Somebody can bring people more, they should bring people more and use it in, they can use their contacts, their talking skills to bring people to Krishna consciousness. So anything and everything we should use in Krishna's service. Phone, we can use in Krishna's service. Technology, we can use in Krishna's service. Everything we should use in Krishna's service. We should not abandon and say that I will leave everything. So those devotees who are in Grihasthasrama, who are doing job, living in material world, sending kids to the public schools, they just have to charge their kids more. They have more work to do. It's difficult, so they have more work to do because the kids face a lot of challenges. They see two worlds. They see a different world in the house and they see a different world outside. So we have to be strong and we have to educate the children more, prepare them more and send. So that's
Yes,
why
Mataji. Yeah.
wherever we are, we should practice within those circumstances.
Yes, Mataji. I cut your sentence because you said it very perfectly about the kids has to understand both material and spiritual, and at the same time, if we keep more impact of spiritual teaching at home, then automatically, it will be like our kids will influence the world where they, uh, learn or where they will do job in future. So, at the same time, one has to stand in the society. Like as you said, a rich man cannot, just leave everything and come to Vrindavan and just sit in some corner doing the japa. No, at the same time, doing his business, he can uh, do all the austerities what he can do, because now we even see like our god brother Gauranga Prabhu, he is running the eco village, but in eco village devotees also visit and non-devotees also visit. So they encourage all non-devotees also to come to the Gauranga eco village, and Gauranga Prabhu just put all the pictures because he is encouraging them also at the same time. And even like now, if you see the Ambani's family, our Guru Maharaj also visited for that wedding ceremony. Gauranga Prabhu visited. There were some devotees, like, because it's not like Ambani's, they don't follow Krishna consciousness, ISKCON, but at the same time, they are they are
Maharaj used that opportunity to educate. Now everybody will question, right? Like, who is this Maharaj? What is this Krishna consciousness? Everybody will know now. So we have to use every opportunity. Like, unless these kids go into the material,
that's right.
Unless these kids go into the material world, in material world, people may not know at all about Krishna consciousness. So when these kids are going with a tilak, not eating, many people may ask, why are you doing what you are doing? Can you also tell me? And they may also get changed. In that way, it becomes in one way preaching also. Like, see, if we all go and only live in a places where there is no material thing, then we cannot help in preaching. So if you have to preach, you have to go into the material world, understand them and preach accordingly. Then only, Prabhupada is already a liberated soul. He doesn't need to come and live in West in between hippies and cook for them and all. He wanted to preach, so he has come down. He has to come into the material world and do. So for that, our kids also should know how the material world works, how the people think, and so that they can help them, saying like, you are thinking like that, but this is not correct. It can be taught like this also. So yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I totally agree, because now our daughter Samradhi is already grown up, but at the same time, when she was in schools, I remember that incidents, like there was bullying and there were comparisons, but which our kids shared, but at the same time, yeah, like she faced some uh, kind of differences, but that time me, like, and even Shamarsika, stressed more on our scriptures, our reading every day, and even if someone says, why you're eating vegetarian, why not non-veg, or why don't you eat this, like, then when someone is saying like this, you don't deny, like immediately don't reject, but you can tell that you follow this because you like this, and try to be more influential. Like you should, you can hear them also, like what they do, but make sure that your habits, what you have, that has to be uh, communicated, like, I follow this, that's it. And even from 10 friends, if at least one is able to follow with you, then you won that battle, like that's what I like then. And finally, like, she was able to at least convince two of her friends, like what she practices, that is good, so yeah, that at least the two souls, for example, like even one soul out of 50 students, that is a really great service, like that. I know Rupini Padma Mataji's daughter is also doing so well. So, see, these things are happening because because of the Grahastha Ashrama, which helps the kids to grow in a proper way from their childhood. And that's why Prabhupada has promoted Grahastha Ashram in a very elaborate and um, a friendly way, I can say. Like Prabhupada said, no. Even like Prabhupada intended some devotees to marry each other, because that is the reason why he encouraged the Grahastha Ashrama. And at the same time, he knows if two, like, Grahastha is following that, automatically another material family will follow them, so, and that happens. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. It is really touching all the notes again, I can say, when your classes make us to think more. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy.
Thank you so much, Nikunjras Prabhuji, for your adding in. You always have your precious thoughts. And I wanted to mention one thing. Recently, my mother made a friend. She's a Muslim lady. My mother is not with me presently. She stays with my sister and then with me, like alternatingly. So what happened is that lady said that she gave my mom like a piece of cake and said, "You try this pineapple cake. It's very nice." She got for her and all. So my mother is generally friendly with everyone. She says, no, but it must have got egg in it. So she read the ingredients. It had egg. So that friend said that, you can't make cake without egg. The moment she said that, my mother said, oh, you should go to the ISKCON temple. In fact, my daughter is the one who's cooking cake there for at least 100 people. And they make with condensed milk and no egg needed. She was amazed to hear that. And she said that, is it possible for her to make that? And can I have that cake? So, what happened is, like, we are associating with these people who can't even imagine a cake on this planet without egg. And the moment she heard this, now she's waiting that, I would make a small cake. I'll offer it and give it to my mom, and mom can give it to her. So, like, it's just that we have to associate with materialistic people. And in a way, this becomes preaching only, because we're giving them prasadam. We are
Yes.
not even small children. There are so many people who are they are senior citizens, and they are like leading their life in such a way that they have no idea, and every meal of theirs has got non-veg in it. And they're very nice people. You talk to them everything, and they say we cannot. Even, like, to the extent they're so fond of non-veg that they will, the karela sabji we make. My mom was telling me, the one we chilo the karela, and then we make karela vegetable. I don't know what karela is called in Hindi. We call in English, I don't know what it's called. If everybody knows, it's a bitter gourd. No,
Bitter gourd. Yeah.
bitter gourd, yeah. So bitter gourd, like, they chilo it, and they don't first they wash it properly, and then they scrape it out. And when they scrape it out, then they keep that. And what they do is they add the meat keema in it. They say we don't waste that because it's very, very healthy. And then we add all the masala, everything, and they make like that. So that lady was telling my mom, she says like hardcore meat eating person, this Mataji, and they're only husband and wife staying, and they are they're almost like close to 80. And when my mother came and told me, I'm like, oh my God, how do they do that? So I was thinking that, I would invite her to the temple. That's first thing, my first step. Because as an alone person, वो हिंदी में जैसे ना एक और एक 11. So, like I alone cannot do anything. I have to have more people because, they're hardcore meat eaters. And on top of that, I will not be able to do alone much preaching to them unless I just give them the cake. That's all I can. That too, I can hand it over through my mom. She'll come take it and give it to them. But I was thinking to call them to the temple, let them go through the Sunday program. And just like we are facing materialistic people and hearing so much about their life and feeling quite astonished now, maybe we wouldn't have felt astonished when we were not following. Then we would have felt it's a normal thing, like, okay, I mean, we're eating egg and all. But the point is that, so let them also see what what Srila Prabhupada has given us. So yes, it is important to connect to materialistic people, material world with and it's and then I sometimes even think one thing. I feel this Mataji, this lady is so her name is Shine. She's from Muslim background. She's very, very sweet and nice. And I'm just thinking that how so many years of her life she's led, and somehow she came in touch with my mother because my mother's one of the friends, Kanak auntie, passed away. So this lady was so much like in the sense so much attached to that lady that she came to know through that lady who passed away daughter that she had another friend. So then she introduced and she came like hunting for company, and somehow she came to my mother. So I keep telling my mother, don't associate too much with her, but little bit is okay. But then I have no control right now. Like yesterday I was asking question that sometimes when a parent has like not all the children are devotees. So what happened? But my sister will never stop her because they don't follow much. She'll say, "Yeah, go. You can go and meet her every day." I'm in my place. I would have not encouraged her so much. But anyway, like so. But I don't have control. Whatever she's doing is she's doing. When she comes to my place in September, then things will change. And of course, my mother has more materialistic connections when she's there with my sister's place. But yes, at least I know that my mom also indirectly she's preaching. And recently, one more incident I want to mention. She was in California, my sister's place, and she saw that my uncle and auntie whole day they're retired. They watch TV, they sit on the bed, then they cut vegetables, they cook. Again, they watch TV. That's all they do. That's all their life is. Is going like a
Yes,
mechanic.
Mataji. Actually, see, you gave the cake from the temple, right, without egg. So, that makes such a big impact on your mom. So now when she is at your sister's home, then sometimes if any egg cake comes, she's going to say that, even the eggs are available without egg. So even people don't know or maybe not aware, as your mom also expressed, like, does it really comes without egg? So, so, so this
Yeah.
kind of preaching, like, as uh, her grace Manwari Mataji said, that anything we are able to, like, we are able to at least, you know, put something from, at least connect something. Uh, so at
Yes.
least small points, like for example, the cake, or in the school, like, even one friend from the 50 students, or maybe, like, it makes a very big difference.
Yes, because they don't
So
know. Just like we get mesmerized by seeing how these materialist people are working. All these, what is happening with the elections and all that. We get so shocked, like what happened with the ex-president, and there was some shooting was there. We get so surprised what is going on. But I wanted to complete one thing, Prabhuji. So my mother went there, saw their lifestyle. She was there for 10 days with them. Immediately she called me. Can you send me two Bhagavad Gitas? So I was like, for whom? Get it for your Masa Masi. I said, the whole day they're not doing anything. They're wasting life. So my mother is one thing good. She reads always. She takes a Bhagavad Gita every day and she chants and she eats vegetarian food. Sometimes she takes onion garlic, but mostly she will make sure that she doesn't. Because I tell her, you're not going to, if you're not to check the ingredients, you're not going to make Krishna happy. Like Mataji said today, for the pleasure of Krishna. So now she started looking at ingredients and all that. And, she makes sure she doesn't take anything, because my sister will sometimes give us, say, oh no, you're not eating eggs, just in the cake. This big funda is so crazy funda in the Indians, na? You're not eating egg, it's just in the cake. So what does it matter? It does matter. That particle of the egg is there. It's a liquid meat. So,
Yeah.
it's very hard to convince the, family. In spite of being in this thing, I don't have the power to convince my family. I can convince many people, but not my family. So my Masi has now started reading Bhagavad Gita in Hindi. I got it from Nandini Kishore Mataji because I didn't have a Hindi version. And then they wanted, in fact, 2 Hindi versions of Bhagavad Gita went. So then my Masi said, oh, your master will not read Hindi. I said, no problem. I will dispatch from here. And then I quickly dispatched another book. And then now they both are reading. They're taking out time. My Masi was telling me that introduction is a little long. I mean, sudden transformation. Why? Because my mother said,
मम्मीला आमच्या सम्राज्ञीशी पण बोलवत होतं.
So then I immediately took action. And so like when my mother is here, little bit Krishna consciousness goes in her. And in fact, one time what happened, I was talking to Manini Mataji. I talked to her many times. And I tell her my mother should not go anywhere. She should stay with me only. She says, no, you will never know that when she's going to your sister who's not following, she might be preaching there. And they also need, unless because, like normally once we get married, no, and we have our spouses, then it's very hard, unless you get along very well with your brother-in-law, sister, it's very hard for us to connect. But the parent is the one who makes that connection. And if the parent is getting little Krishna consciousness from one child, now I'm seeing actually, Manini Mataji is perfectly right. She should go to my uncle, auntie's house. Although my Masi is vegetarian and very, very pious. She does all the puja, Durga puja, Shiv puja. 2 hours she sits with the Devta, Devti puja, like she does that. So then now they're reading Bhagavad Gita. So all glories to my mom that, she has imbibed something from us here. And now she's, because subconscious mind mein to Krishna hai. And, it's something like we say, wherever we started, I think just few times we read. No, actually I was on a 15 minutes call with Dwapan Prabhu, in which it said wherever we started, like on Bhagavad Gita, he does 10 minutes call Dwapan Prabhu, in which we kind of prepare and give a class. So it said that wherever we stop, the next life we start there. Suppose we suddenly die, like Mataji said, we can die anytime. So then what happens is like, my mom is like listening, even if she's in another world, it is there in her. So similarly, this in a subconscious mind, we will be taking this. Once we leave this body also, we will take this along with us, the soul, the bhakti, and then it'll always stay with us. So, it's important for us to learn more, read more, and make best use of the time, I would say that. So it's already 9:30. I'm sorry for taking so much time. I get so inspired when I'm with devotees and I don't get to, have that time otherwise. So I'm sorry if I spoke too much.
Yeah,
or
I think Vanmali Mataji left the class. Maybe
Okay.
she's busy. But
Yeah.
but very nice discussion, Mataji. But only one thing I thought while talking today about non-veg, I think there are some other devotees, not devotees, sorry. There are some other members who may be eating non-veg, we don't know. And I think if we discuss more on that, then they like non-veg, basically we have to make sure we talk less about, because otherwise they will run away from the conference. I think
Yeah.
some
But
of
Prabhuji,
the
only you, me, and Mataji are there. One thing I wanted to mention,
yeah
that
now
I feel,
Yeah.
yes, but you go ahead. I know what you're saying. We shouldn't talk less. But, I feel really blessed that in some time in our life that we have taken non-veg, because I'll tell you what, a person who's always been vegetarian, no, he will not be able to preach to a person eating non-veg then to a person who's eaten non-veg. Why? I'm saying for myself, Prabhuji.
yes,
Because I have eaten non-veg. I used to like it. I used to
Yeah.
like eating non-veg. It's only after my second daughter was born and she started getting seizures and some epileptic thing, no? So one Pandit told me, below your tongue, your neck, no non-veg should go. I said eggs also no. I stopped everything. This was in 1997. I became vegetarian because of my younger daughter. I completely sacrificed. I used to cook, everything. I mean, beef is not existing in any of my side family. But the point is, I used to enjoy to eat. So when I see a person who's also enjoying non-veg, I can understand because I also did. But then it's easier for me to preach to that person because I was in that boat, I hope you understand that what I'm saying.
Yeah. That is,
because
and then we can be exemplary, like, like if we are
Yes.
not, we were eating and we are not eating, so that is a good example for them. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I always say I was not a pure vegetarian by like birth, because my leaving my grandparents, my parents ate. So like my father used to eat once in a while, my mother used to eat. So I'm not coming from that background. It's like a Prahlad Maharaj background. I always say that.
Yeah, 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 that's right. That's right, we are not
We're
from
actually
that
coming from
background.
that. I'm coming from that background, but we are trying to follow the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj.
Yeah, हम लोग भी एक क्षत्रिय है ना महाराज, like we, माता जी, we are
Yeah.
also kshatriya, so we like our families have that. But again, we are kshatriya, but my father's side is Warkari, who follows Vitthal Rukmai, like Pandurang from
Oh.
Pandharpur. So my father's side is also completely vegetarian, but
Hmm.
my father's mother, she used to eat, and
Hmm.
my father's father did not eat any time. So that is one stream which I think has given us some blessing, that at least my grandfather, whatever pious activities he has done, that made us vegetarian in this life, at least. So
Yes, yes, yes. Even my dada, dadi, nana, nani, all four of them didn't eat. But then
right.
my father, they were like teachers, engineer, and they were like intermingling Delhi society and everything, like metropolitan. So yeah, they were eating, and it was cooked at home, and everything was happening like that. But yes, Prabhuji, it's like it's interesting discussion, and a lot of people, Indian families, they will not take up Krishna consciousness because they don't want their children to be perplexed when they are about to enter college, that they have to
Mm.
eat vegetarian, and then without onion garlic they will not be able to study. So we right now we don't want to, please, 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 please don't preach to them, don't say anything. One person, he's from Gujarat, Sunil Dubey. He got very offended. He says, please do not have any connection with my children, because he was CEO in a company and he was a vegetarian family. They used to
Hmm.
worship Ganesh, but they didn't want that children should be, because they wanted the children to, they were vegetarian by birth, the children, but they wanted them to have onion garlic. And only thing is they would offer some milk and patasha like that, from the, and that is what they only offered in the morning and gave to everyone. And rest, no food was offered. So I couldn't preach in their home. And now, of course, because of the father being so adamant, Krishna fulfilled his desire also. The elder son became an engineer from this. His name is I forgot his name, and the daughter is studying medical now, doing very well, both the children. But they didn't want that me to tell them, because then and sometimes what happened, Prabhuji, one thing I want to last thing mention is that they see our life. Like my husband, he's like works in a construction company, right? My daughter
Mm.
is there, I'm there, I'm basically homemaker. And then my elder daughter is also like, they say, oh, what is your daughter doing? She's almost 30 now. Oh, what about her career? Like that they will talk. And they think our family is a complete, like a, what do I say, like materially affluent nahi hai. Koi education nahi, kuch nahi, something like that. So then they themselves stop associating. This is not a family to associate.
Mm.
Because it's like, otherwise when they'll hear, oh, my son is becoming engineer, my daughter is becoming an architect, then those Indian families are intermingling with each other, meeting each other, and somehow Krishna has cut off us from everyone. So I'm
Yeah.
happy it's like that, and it's okay. I'm happy with devotees anyway. And I feel, on the contrary, if they included me in their this thing, I used to take my own prasadam and go, then they would have, they lost the chance. I feel like that. I always think like, I don't think that I'm
Yeah,
losing
yeah.
the chance.
It is reverse way. They lost the chance. Like if they would have
Yeah,
associated with you, they would have got the like blessings or mercy, Krishna's. Otherwise,
somewhere or the other, they would
they
have,
they will have, maybe it's not their time now. So to
yes,
improve by themselves. Yeah.
yes. And also, Prabhuji, lastly, I wanted to thank you, because you are doing the, the recording, which was like, it was a big struggle. I don't know where Mataji is. I'm sure she's hearing me.
Yes.
Sometimes we were literally on the call and calling up um, the Prabhuji's name. What's his name? Who used to be doing recording
Manidhar
earlier?
Prabhu. Yeah, Manidhar Prabhu.
Manidhar Prabhu. मेरा memory पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है morning में. So like Manidhar Prabhu, and Manidhar Prabhu is not available, and then Mataji is calling. I am calling. No recording done.
Yeah, yeah. Now
Finally,
yeah,
yeah,
um,
that's good. That's
by
good. And
Krishna's mercy, I'm able to do that. So
yeah,
I manage that, and sometimes only what happens, like due to my work, I come down and start my work. So like it is not I forget anytime, but if I forget also, then Shamasika will come down and tell me you have to start that, so
Yeah,
it will
yeah.
not.
Or Prabhuji, like what I do, some important seva is there na for me, which I know I have to do. Like I go to temple cleaning seva, or some other seva is there, like
Hmm.
books arranging in the temple, Bhagvatam books and all, Bhagvatam set. So sometimes
Hmm.
I have to go once a month. Some I go like Friday I go. So just put an alarm, Prabhuji, that you have to start recording at
Yeah.
7:25. I would say 7:23. 3 minutes till you're
Reminder,
done with.
yeah, I can put a reminder. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, but
Yeah.
what happens, by the time I get ready, our class start, and I am like we are in the bedroom only. So but
Yeah.
once at 7, I have to definitely come down. 7:15. So depends. Sometimes I come 7 before also. So
Oh, so you
it
have to
depends.
come down to the computer and then put it on somewhere like that, or you can't do on the phone.
Sometimes I do that, but mostly what
Yeah.
happens, me and Shamasik are together that time. So I start in front of her only. So, but
Yeah.
it has happened like 1 or 2 times. I don't remember, but I came down and then she told from the
Okay. So one
upstairs,
time,
like,
Prabhuji, what happened? Jeffrey Mataji was on the call, and Puja Mati kept saying, "Mataji, can you hit 5 minutes? 5 minutes?" And then she's telling me, "Mataji, can you contact Rasika Mataji, Shama Rasika Mataji?" This kept happening. Jeffrey Mataji said, "Puja Mataji, is everybody more eager to hear the class who are present, or is recording important?" So then I said, "Mataji, start the class."
yeah,
So Mataji was like she felt offended because we kept saying recording, recording. Our whole thing was recording only. So then I wanted to share this incident with you all, and Mataji was like, "It's okay. Who all are present? You all are like front benchers, and you all present here. I want to start the class for you guys." So
Hmm.
then we started. Then of course there's not been a single day you started the recording later, but both of us get a little stressed out. So I just wanted to convey that about the
Yeah,
recording.
definitely.
She
Normally I
starts text.
start, but
Yeah.
even if I forget Mataji Shamarasika, but if Shamarasika forget, then you are there to tell. So it will
Yeah,
not.
today nobody was greeting 24. I was trying to finish my, last 2 rounds. And I said, "Chal, let me finish." And they began 7:24 as I started greeting. I said, "Manindra Prabhu is supposed to greet today." Anyway, he's not there. So, let's just continue. Everyday chant Harinam conference call ki jai.
Yes,
We have to just
Mataji.
continue like that. Yeah, but Mataji is the most consistent and we're all learning from her. And I was thinking that, like Mataji has taken the thing of contacting speakers and something which I was doing along with the monthly. It's really
Mhm.
like a lot of load off my head which Mataji is doing. But I'm also thinking if Mataji and you go to India, then how are we going to take this up? And maybe we have to train another person.
Yeah.
Like I really feel from this conference call, I've been telling Shraddhanjali Mataji also in the temple. Then Mataji, you get because she does the management, like with Dwapan Prabhu, and I
Mhm.
tell she is following. I said even for cleaning, Mataji, 2 people, Pujari
Mm.
Seva, 2 people, cooking there should be 2 people, backup hona chahiye. So now we
Mm.
are
Yeah.
following that so much because now I realize from the call that when I'm not there, then Mataji is there.
Yeah, yeah.
Suppose you
Our
all have to,
backups are there. Yeah.
but I'm also thinking we have to train someone, others also to take up the services where this Adi Guru Prabhuji have been saying for a long time. So maybe
Yeah,
Geeta
yeah.
Mata and some others also we can put some, start telling them to greet and because they'll take the responsibility. I don't know if it's a good idea or not with Geeta Mata because
Yeah.
you
No,
and
they are not devotees, Mataji, unless like they are not
yeah,
devotees, then we cannot engage for this service.
Prabhuji, that's how Puja Mataji started. And she started with chanting 2 rounds and now she's doing 16 rounds. And she
Yes.
doesn't go to temple very often. And like sometimes, I mean, her husband is not like they are all from vegetarian background, but he's not like devotee because she was not getting married. She became 40. But then I
Yeah.
told her, Matter, you continue and she told her husband, I follow this. She calls me Didi. Because of her, I'm following. So मैं वो तो करूँगी. कहते हैं, हाँ, I
Yeah.
have no.
Puja Mataji is very nice,
Yeah,
she's
so I was thinking that this Geeta Mataji can also be little bit, just start some greeting and because she's very enthusiastic and
yeah.
maybe some,
Yeah, Shamarasika is trying to, but they follow that another thing, so we
yes,
have to
yes,
be little slowly, so, but
yeah,
we
yeah,
can do that. You are right. Yeah.
yeah. Mataji shared a picture where अभी उन्होंने कृष्णा के जो
And now
lotus feet है वो
automatically change हो
Yes,
गया.
Mataji. I will
yeah
ask Geeta Mataji. It's a good suggestion.
है ना तो जैसे if पूजा माता जी sometimes takes twice or thrice तो एक बारी वो ले लेंगे ऐसे करके greeting का
Hmm.
and just
थर्सडे अगर मैं नहीं रहूंगी तो वो बैकअप कर सकते हैं।
हाँ आपका स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं लाइक दैट, तो ठीक है माता जी।
और
Anyway,
माता
nice
जी आज
discussion.
कितने वर्ष हुए माता जी?
माता जी आपको उनसे पूछना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज दैट टाइम व्हाट हैपेंड, आई वाज इन द किचन, और जब मेरा फोन गोज अवे फ्रॉम भागवतम टू द किचन ना, देन आई एम ओनली हियरिंग, तो मुझे पता।
No
एंड देन
problem.
माता जी आल्सो रीड्स लाइक शमी कृषि महाराज, वो पढ़ेंगी थोड़ा बोलेंगी फिर पढ़ेंगी, आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी
हाँ, पता नहीं चला मुझे भी।
हाँ उनका भी नहीं पता चलता, बिकॉज दे रीड एंड दे डिस्कस, सो यू हैव टू जस्ट टेक्स्ट हर, माता जी लेट यू नो। एक तो करा है डेफिनेटली, एक तो हुआ है, एंड बट समटाइम माता जी इफ यू डोंट नो एट ऑल कितना हुआ, you can always tell the speaker to take the second one, because I'm just saying, like, suppose you call her, she doesn't text back, so ek to hua hai, and you can always give the second one again to the the next speaker,
Yes,
because
Mataji.
yeah, it's like not hard and fast rule there, Mataji.
I will
Chalega,
message her and find out.
theek hai Mataji, and rest everything okay?
Yes Mataji.
Yeah, and मेरी मदर माता जी वहाँ चले गए ना अपना सिस्टर के यहाँ, तो थोड़ा उनका माइंडसेट ही थोड़ा वैसा हो गया, बट फिर भी प्रीचिंग तो करते हैं वो वहां से, ऐसा नहीं है, but I see so much of change in her because she's not
कौन
with
माताजी?
devotees. मेरी मदर, मेरी मदर
मदर ने इनडायरेक्टली कितना अच्छा प्रीचिंग किया।
इनडायरेक्टली किया, बट क्या हो गया, उनका जो अपना लाइफ है ना, फोन पे ज्यादा रह रही है, चैंटिंग बस कर लिया, हाँ मैंने कर लिया चैंटिंग, एंड चैंटिंग के बीच में भी फोन उठा लेती, मैंने चैंटिंग कहती मैं चैंटिंग कर रही थी, मैंने बोला फोन मत उठाया करो
माता जी, वो
जब
इम्पैक्ट होता है माता जी, लाइक
बहुत जबरदस्त हो गया इम्पैक्ट यार। अब मेरे पास
same
सितंबर में
thing
वो आएंगी।
माता जी, you will
हाँ
not believe, same thing, my mother
हाँ
reached China just now,
हाँ
like today morning she called,
हाँ
and
हाँ
like China, my brother took her with him,
अच्छा
and
हाँ
my mother, like when she was talking to Shamarasika, she asked like, have you taken your Bhagavatam book? Are you chanting? So she said, I did 32 rounds in the flight.
हरी बोल, वाह।
So
अभी
this
वहां
is
कैसे
the
होगा?
हाँ,
सबके साथ कैसे होगा वहां पर, वो देखने का है नहीं?
साथ भी हाँ करेंगे, I think she will do, because she
हाँ
someone told me in from India, some of my relative, like wherever she is going, she she has her beads with her.
ओके,
So she's chanting everywhere. Like she's not
so
shy of.
basically now she's preaching to your brother's family also that way.
Yeah. Indirectly, it is going to happen. If
Yes,
even like unknowingly, my brother's daughter, she's in the school. If she start asking her what you do, and if slowly, if she picks up, then her parents will picks up. I cannot preach to my brother because he will not listen me.
मेरा भी सेम केस है प्रभु जी, मामा सिस्टर है, मतलब उनका तो मैं अगर आगे भी बैठ जाऊंगी ना, उनको बोलूंगी चलो लेट्स आई चैंट टुगेदर द हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र, तो शी वोंट इवन ओपन हर लिप्स टू चैंट, शी विल जस्ट गो
अभी
नो आई एम डूइंग मन में, मैंने बोला जस्ट से सम वर्ड्स आउट, से नो, होता ही नहीं
now,
है।
right now,
वेरी
Krishna has entered through my
हाँ,
mother in their house. So let's see
okay.
what happens.
या एंड एक्चुअली एक और चीज होती है ना, लाइक वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम वन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, अ मदर गिविंग बर्थ टू टू चिल्ड्रन, वन हैज बिकम डिवोटी, अदर वन इज नॉट, बट आपकी मदर के लिए तो दोनों सेम है ना, लाइक इट्स
Same,
लाइक
yes.
हाँ, सपोज
I
यू हैव
felt
टू,
that Mataji, like, I called my mom yesterday from the airport. They could not speak. Our car driver there, he said, no, they are going inside, and he just showed me a video from back. And my mother also said, not now, not now. She is very strict. So she then went inside, but when she landed there, she called me first. I was the first to call. She called me immediately,
ओके
and
ओके,
I felt happy. She is. That's what shows, like, for a mother, both the sons are same. So, and she
यस,
does the same thing. Like when she will come to my place, she will call my younger brother first. So yeah.
होता है, ये होता है, एंड देन थोड़ा सा ना, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कि क्या होता है, लाइक स्पेशली द टू सिस्टर्स, टू ब्रदर्स, एंड इवन माता जी विल कोरिलेट, श्यामारसिका माता जी, लाइक क्या होएगा, यू ऑलवेज फील व्हेन द मदर इज स्टेइंग विद यू, उनका ध्यान ना, ऑल्दो शी स्टेइंग विद यू, ध्यान है अच्छा उसका ये हो गया, दे वरीड अबाउट द अदर पर्सन वर्चुअली, और जब वहां
Yeah.
होते देन माय सिस्टर सेइंग यू आर सो वरीड अबाउट, यू गो एंड मीट हर ओनली, सो वो
Hmm.
सब चलता रहता है, बट पेरेंट्स के लिए इक्वल रहता है, दैट इज
Yeah.
श्योर, दैट इज 100%, द फॉर्म ऑफ लव इज डिफरेंट, like for me with Amrita is different, for Saloni is different, when Amrita comes Saloni is completely ignored, तो वो थोड़ा ढीली हो जाती है, she knows mama is going to ignore me, like because वो मेरे साथ रहती नहीं बड़ी वाली, and when she's coming तो like then things are I have to pay little attention to her, and थोड़ा सा हो जाता है like that. And also Prabhuji, I wanted to mention, like Govinda had come and stayed at our place, तो
Oh, really?
हमारा जो हाँ ही केम इन स्टेट, सो मेरे हस्बैंड थोड़े से वो हो गए, मतलब ही इज यूज्ड टू, बिकॉज एक बार पीछे भी एक कपल आए थे जो दे वर नॉट मैरिड, सो दे मैंने ही से यार ये कैसा सिस्टम है, दे वो एक साथ तो जा रहे हैं बट मतलब उनको लगता है कि भाई यहाँ पर तो यू नो फ्रेंडशिप मीन्स सब कुछ ही हो जाता है, ऐसा होता है ना, माय हस्बैंड थिंक, मैं सेड ना ना इस्कॉन में, तो माय हस्बैंड इज वेरी वेरी हैप्पी अबाउट दिस, so he says,
Hmm.
he told Amrita, you can ask Govinda to come again whenever he wants to, because he's seeing that they are not, their relationship is not based on bodily. It is
Hmm.
based on only association. He's second initiated. And hopefully Amrita should also, वो हलदर महाराज आ रहे हैं ना on the 31st, तो उनसे chance है, प्रभु जी प्लीज pray for her कि इसका initiation हो जाए. And I'm feeling bad कि पता नहीं अगर तो कृष्णा हाउस में हो गेन्सविल, I will definitely reach. But न्यूयॉर्क में होगा तो I don't know whether I'll be go or not. Because if my
Hmm.
husband will not go, I don't want to go alone. That's the thing.
Yeah,
If we all
she
go
told
together,
me,
then
your
yeah.
daughter told me when she was in Baltimore. I met her,
Yes.
I think, once. So she
Yes.
told me, Prabhuji, we are coming again. So with Maharaj, something she said, and can you have
Yes.
a program at your home? So I am ready. You can just convey her. Like I was waiting for
Okay.
her confirmation.
Yeah.
So, but only I
Actually,
have to make sure that we are available that weekend, or and then you can, if you are coming, you can stay our home also, Mataji, in
yeah.
Baltimore.
Actually, कुछ आ रहा है ना अभी. It's Balram Jayanti is coming on 19th of August something. It's coming in August, one of the festivals before Janmashtami. तो महाराज generally likes to give initiation on the festival day. तो अगर उस टाइम पे होगा तो तब तो महाराज न्यूयॉर्क में होंगे. तो first I will ask my husband, if he'll say no, then I don't प्रभु जी reach out the way, say okay I'm going. I don't do that.
बट अगर आपको
क्योंकि हाँ
न्यूयॉर्क भी आते हैं ना माता जी, यू कैन
हाँ
जस्ट ड्राइव टू आवर प्लेस आल्सो, आई थिंक योर डॉटर विल डू दैट, सो
Okay. I will let her know. But actually, itinerary बन गई है महाराज की, and I will also share with you all just in case you want to take association. कभी मतलब नॉर्थ की साइड कहाँ कहाँ महाराज हैं. Amrita shared with me the itinerary, and he's coming to Orlando Temple also on the 9th of August.
या
So I'm so happy. Somehow Sakshi Gopal Prabhu and Dwapan Prabhu ने उनको प्रभु जी मुझे बोलते थे, कहते माता जी मुझे पता आपने तो कहीं जाना नहीं है, तो इसलिए मैंने महाराज को यहाँ बुला लिया. मैंने he's just joking with me. But I'm so happy that he's Guru Maharaj is coming here. I've never met him before, and
यस यस
otherwise plan क्या था, उसका ग्रीन कार्ड आएगा, then वहां से
हाँ
हम दिल्ली जाएंगे, दिल्ली से हम वहां उड़ीसा जाएंगे एंड महाराज को मिलेंगे. बट देन कृष्णा इज सो
अच्छा,
मर्सीफुल.
यहाँ पे हो रहा
कृष्णा
है,
ने
देखो कितना बड़ी मर्सी हो रही है माता जी. इट इज ऑल
मैं
बिकॉज ऑफ योर सर्विसेज
नो प्रभु जी
एंड
आई डोंट
डेडिकेशन.
नो. या आई जस्ट ट्राई. इट्स ऑल जैसे बात कौन बोल रहे थे अभी, डिवोशन ही है वो, प्योर डिवोशन नहीं है. जस्ट डिवोशन है, थोड़ा बहुत ही कर लिया. बट
बट अमृता को बता दीजिए माता जी कि अगर इफ देयर
ओके.
यू विल बी कमिंग टू बाल्टीमोर विथ महाराज, देन she can she requested me for a home program, so I said we can host, no issues. You can just let me know in advance. So अगर कुछ प्लान बनता है, क्योंकि यहाँ
अच्छा.
पे आने के बाद कहाँ पे कहीं पे तो रहना पड़ेगा ना महाराज को. आई थिंक बाल्टीमोर हैज देयर ओन रूम एंड एवरीथिंग इन द टेम्पल. बट अगर
ओके.
आप लोग आपको कुछ है तो यू कैन स्टे एट आवर होम एंड वी कैन होस्ट अ प्रोग्राम, सो एट आवर होम.
एंड जब आप होस्ट करते हैं, आर यू एबल टू कॉल अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आल्सो, बिकॉज़ महाराज
या
इज
वो
जनरली ओके.
वो करेंगे माता जी हम.
अच्छा, तो मैं
वी
उसको
हैव
एक
डिवोटी.
वॉइस मैसेज कर देती हूँ कि इफ यू वांट टू होस्ट देन आपकी आई विल मेंशन टू आपके नाम है ना,
हाँ.
अमृता को. तो आई नो
यस
शी इज
यस.
वन ऑफ द कोऑर्डिनेटर्स विद अदर गॉड ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स. बिकॉज मुझे क्या हो रहा है ना प्रभु जी, एक बार इनिशिएशन हो जाएगा थोड़ा सा, फिर क्या है आगे जाके गोविंदा भी इनिशिएटेड है, ये भी है, थोड़ा और कृपा रहेगा थोड़ा गुरु महाराज
यस
का,
यस. दो चीज है माता जी, ये
हाँ
ये वाला लाइक महाराज का मुझे पूछा था, तो आई वाज जस्ट थिंकिंग वंस, मैंने सोचा कि अरे अमृता ने अभी तक मैसेज नहीं डाला है, मे बी कैंसिल हुआ है, और बट यू
नहीं,
टोल्ड जस्ट नाउ
महाराज तो
दैट
आ
इट
रहे
इज
हैं.
ऑलरेडी देयर. हाँ,
Yeah.
तो
31st he's
बाल्टीमोर.
coming to New York. Then he's coming to New York. New York से Gainesville area. Gainesville से Orlando. Orlando से flying to Texas. And then again back to New York. I think 2 weeks का trip है.
बट
Two
इफ
and
इज
a half
कमिंग टू
weeks.
बाल्टीमोर देन वील डेफिनेटली बाल्टीमोर या
Yes.
पोटोमैक कहीं पे
I'll
भी आ
just
रहे हैं.
share with both of you. I'll share the itinerary. अमृता ने share करा है. Baltimore भी है उसमें. So I will
हाँ,
share,
बाल्टीमोर
and
है
I don't
तो
know.
मुझे,
हाँ.
हाँ, अमृता
Okay.
को उतना याद करवाना. एंड
उसको याद करा
एल्सो
दूंगी मैं. Yeah.
माता जी मैंने अमृता को बोला था, वो दूसरा जो लड़का है ना, गोविंदा के जैसा ही वो लड़का,
अच्छा.
उधर ही, हाँ, ही वाज इन द सेम सेम कृष्णा हाउस एंड एवरीथिंग. तो वो बंदा वो रेडी नहीं था. व्हाट
हम्म.
व्हेन आई अंडरस्टूड फ्रॉम द इम्पान प्रभु, but not from Daimpan Prabhu. I got the contact from Daimpan Prabhu, but when I checked with him, he was not ready because he's waiting for the guidance from his seniors there. So maybe Karakanta Prabhu or whoever there. But Amruta का मैंने बोला था कि since you are connected to Govinda, if you are able to check how is this guy and if
Okay.
he is, if you can, at least talk or tell through someone their senior, that this girl is there and this boy is also okay, like we
And
can
this
at least
boy
try
is
to connect.
Indian?
No, he is American, Mataji.
Okay. So
His
Prabhuji,
name
there's
is
another.
Mac. His name
Okay.
is Mac
There's a.
Dunevit.
Okay.
Mac Dunevit. Yeah.
Prabhuji, there is a Indian boy, very
Hmm.
nice. His name is Nimai. Both his parents are devotees. He's
Hmm.
doing his PhD right now. He's
Hmm.
such a wonderful boy. उसको हम लोगों ने कई बार उड़ीसा का स्वीट बना बना के लेके गए हैं. वो बेचारा
तो
उस टाइम
उसका,
पढ़ता था.
हाँ,
Do
उसका
you
भी बोलो
know about him?
अगर कितना
आपको
एज है
पता है
उसका? हाँ,
एज का मुझे पूछना पड़ेगा. I have to ask Amrita about the age, but then he's like now doing his PhD. तो I can imagine थोड़ा सा he must be
सम्राट से थोड़ा बड़ा, लाइक सेम एज का ही होगा फिर. हाँ, राइट.
वो चलेगा वह प्रभु जी. एज का तो आप थोड़ा सा, जैसे गोविंदा तो छोटा है
नाम
अमृता से.
नाम भी अच्छा है, निमाई. लाइक यू सेंड हिज
या
फोटो एंड सम डिटेल्स भेज दीजिए माता जी मुझे.
हाँ, बट मैं देखती हूँ थ्रू अमृता इफ कैन आस्क कि वो इनडायरेक्टली हंस के उसे पूछ ले, आर यू प्लानिंग टू दिस थिंग. एंड आई नो उसके वो उसने. एंड वन थिंग इज सो गुड अबाउट कृष्णा हाउस की, वो जो जैसे आपने मैक्स के बारे में बताया, वो लोग कोई स्टेप नहीं लेंगे अनलेस कालाकांता प्रभु इज गोइंग टू बी इन द पिक्चर. ही इज स्टिल द मेन पर्सन देयर. अभी जैसे जो भी इन्होंने अभी 26 पॉइंट्स भी अपने करे दोनों ने. एंड देन ही सेज माता जी आई डोंट टेक एनी, गोविंदा सेड आई डोंट टेक एनी स्टेप अनलेस माय गुरु महाराज इज इन्वॉल्वड. I don't take any this. So I was like, okay. So even for coming and staying here and taking a flight next day, then I'm going to Mataji's place and all. So then छोटे-छोटे चीज के लिए it takes approval. He
तो
says,
ये
okay, Mataji.
निमाई कौन सा है माता जी? दे आर विच कम्युनिटी?
निमाई उड़ीसा से लड़का है. He is doing his पढ़ाई कर रहा है कृष्णा हाउस में, कितने सालों से है. इंडियन बॉय.
हाँ, हाँ.
वेरी नाइस बॉय. आई मीन मैं तो कई बार सोचती हूँ मैं very very serious, educated, good कीर्तन he does. And he's doing his material education also. और कितने सालों से है वहां पर. मतलब I'm surprised कि nobody is looking into that. And वो मैंने बताया था ना आपको, जो महाराष्ट्र से लड़का, he is already associating with one girl जिसके एक पेरेंट इंडियन है. वो तो मैं कई बार ही comes with me to the temple. अनिमेश, who's राधानाथ महाराज का डिसाइपल है ना, अनंत बल्लभा.
हाँ.
वो मैंने जो उससे बात करा तो वो भाग गया मेरे से.
हाँ,
तो उस दिन
नहीं
क्या
वो
हुआ,
ठीक है. हाँ, वो नहीं है ना.
बिकॉज ही इज ऑलरेडी एसोसिएटिंग. और इनका क्या है, सब कृष्णा हाउस के डिवोटी से एसोसिएट कर जाते हैं लोग किसी ना किसी से, बिकॉज इतने साल रहते हैं ना वहाँ. और फिर गुरु का वो आश्रय भी रहता है, तो इट्स वेरी उनका बहुत ही प्योर एसोसिएशन रहता है सबका वहाँ. यंग है दे नॉट, तो अपना वही फ्रेंडशिप हो जाती है. एंड तो उसका भी ऐसे हुआ, अनंत वल्लभ का भी हुआ, अमृता का भी देखो गोविंदा से हुआ. बट देन आई विल ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट अबाउट दिस बॉय, बिकॉज आई वाज थिंकिंग बहुत ही अच्छा है, देखने में अच्छा है, बहुत ही लायक लड़का है.
ठीक है, आप इंफॉर्मेशन निकालिए एंड देन विल सी.
हाँ, आई थिंक मैंने उसको ना भी रिसेंटली मैंने देखा फेसबुक में भी वो आया है, तो मैंने उसको रिक्वेस्ट भी भेजा था. तो लेट मी सी हाउ आई कैन कांटेक्ट हिम. एंड देन लाइक अगर कुछ वर्कआउट करता है तो देन. एंड उसके दोनों पेरेंट्स डिवोटीज हैं, दोनों पेरेंट्स.
अच्छा,
तो वो आप लोग के लिए सूटेड है, आप लोग के लिए सूटेड है, बिकॉज
बट दे आर फ्रॉम हियर ओनली, लाइक माताजी दे आर सेटल्ड
नहीं,
हियर.
पेरेंट्स आर इन उड़ीसा.
ओके.
Only boys here studying. Now he'll take up a job or whatever.
ओके.
Yeah.
ठीक है.
तो I will let you know. मेरे को भी नजर है उसका समराधनी. I know she's close to Saloni's age, 27 ना.
Right. 27.
हाँ, तो मैं भी I'm all, and also Prabhuji, there are many other. There's one Mataji, Rekha Mataji, who does matrimonial. तो devotee.com करके भी बहुत सारे रिश्ते मिलते हैं उसमें. devotee.com करके मैं देखती हूँ, मुझे भेजा. I will forward that also to you. Look into that also. उसमें प्रोफाइल डाल के, ये माताजी है, she got a devotee husband at the age of 42.
Okay.
हाँ. So and वो थोड़े से ग्रुप्स में भी हैं जहाँ पर मैट्रिमोनियल का होता है. अभी हम लोग, शी इज एक्चुअली इन्वॉल्व मी. एक विष्णु प्रभु है, एक और विष्णु प्रभु है जो 32 है. ही इज ऑल्सो, he is from UP, the only son, and he's come to Krishna conscious because of Dwapan Prabhu, but he's about 32.
समृद्धि का
32.
एक है माता जी, like she
हाँ
says like boy should be at least like even born and brought up नहीं है, but यहाँ पे उसका schooling like school से यहाँ पे है, तो he is like she will be able to adjust with or he will be able to adjust with her friend circle, or because oh like if they are like from India they have come here, then वो थोड़ा क्या होता है एडजस्टिंग के लिए प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है, बिकॉज इसका जो
हाँ,
फ्रेंड सर्कल है यहाँ
बट
पे।
ये तो दोनों दोनों इंडिया से आके पड़े हैं यहाँ पर, निमाई भी
हाँ,
और ये भी विष्णु प्रभु भी। एक विष्णु प्रभु भी है, वो तो
अच्छा,
मैं रथ यात्रा में गई तो मैंने बेटी को दिखाया, तो उस टाइम उसने मुझे बोला कि माता
हाँ
जी मैं तो कोई लड़की ढूंढ रहा हूँ, आपकी डॉटर इंटरेस्टेड, मेरे मुंह पे बोला। तो मैंने
ठीक है,
बोला कि
दोनों
अब
दोनों प्रोफाइल भेज दो माता जी, एटलीस्ट फोटो तो देख लेते हैं, हाउ हाउ आर द बॉयज।
हाँ, आई विल डू दैट, आई लेट मी सेंड
हाँ,
दैट। बट आई डोंट नो
एज।
निमाई। हाँ, एज नहीं पता मुझे, विष्णु का तो मुझे पता है, अभी तो वो पीएचडी कर रहा है एंड ही इज गॉट हिज जॉब नाउ इन लुजियाना, पता नहीं कहाँ पर उसको जॉब लग रही है। सो ही इज मूविंग देयर, बहुत सिंपल अच्छा लड़का है वो, तो हमारे टेम्पल में आता है और पूरा द्वापर प्रभु के गाइडेंस के अंडर। बट ही इज अराउंड 30
ओके।
एंड ही इज फ्रॉम बनारस एंड ओनली सन ऑफ द फैमिली, यूपी का है। एंड ही इज ऑल्सो लुकिंग फॉर अ गर्ल नाउ। तो उसको हम पहले पहले कोई एक रिश्ता उसको बताया लड़की का, तो उसने बोला मैं अपने पेरेंट्स को देख, सो सिंपल, मैं पेरेंट्स से बात करता हूँ। कह रहे पेरेंट्स कुछ नहीं करेंगे, तुम्हें यहाँ पर उससे बात करना पड़ेगा। अच्छा अच्छा, मैं फिर बात कर लूंगा। वेरी वेरी नाइस। तो हमारे भी एक्चुअली बहुत यूथ है इंडियंस जो, मतलब पर वही है ना, हमें पता नहीं चलता ना कौन इंटरेस्टेड है शादी में, ये बात है। पर मैं
करेक्ट।
विष्णु पर्व का तो आई फॉलो अप, आई आस्क बट आई डोंट नो एज का फैक्टर तो नहीं है ना, एज इज टू मच और इज इट ओके लाइक।
एज 30, अभी 27 है ना, तो 28 29 30 तक है तो चलेगा माता जी, 30।
हाँ, 30-32 चलेगा,
हाँ।
थोड़ा चलेगा, बट ही इज वेरी सिंपल इनोसेंट बॉय। एंड तो लाइक एंड वेरी वेल एजुकेटेड है एंड लाइक तो इन द सेंस के ही रियली वांट्स टू गेट मैरिड टू अ डिवोटी, बिकॉज पहले ही वाज नॉट इन दिस थिंग, नाउ ही इज कमिंग टू कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस। सो पर उसका वही है कि वो अपना एजुकेशन इंडिया में हुआ है, ही स्पीक्स गुड इंग्लिश। एंड प्रभु जी बाद में ना, आई नो सबरादनी सेइंग दिस, पर बाद में ये कुछ मैटर नहीं करता है। इवन अमृता टोल्ड मी, आई जस्ट डोंट लाइक यहाँ पर जो इंडियन बॉयज होते हैं वो इंडियन अमेरिकन एक्सेंट में इंडियन बॉय बात करते हैं, ये है वो है। So she used to tell me all kinds of things. And I'm like, why are you considering all these things? The boy should be devotee, good, learning, eager to learn Shastras. वो ज्यादा important है than
नहीं वो
accent and this.
नहीं, क्या होता है माता जी, नहीं एक्सेंट का नहीं,
हाँ,
यहाँ से जो स्कूलिंग है, लाइक स्कूल हुआ है, देन कॉलेज हुआ है, तो क्या होता है, दोज बॉयज आर कंपेटेबल विद द सोसाइटी हियर, तो वो क्या होता है, अभी
अच्छा,
समृद्धि का जो सब फ्रेंड सर्कल है, या यहाँ के डीसी का है, या न्यू
हम्म,
जर्सी है, बाल्टीमोर है, सो दे हैव डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स ओनली एट ऑल, वो सब अलग ही हो जाता है, डिवोटीज
अच्छा, जो
जो होते
इंडिया से आते हैं वो डिफरेंट रहते हैं, डिफरेंट
हैं,
ग्रुप
हाँ
रहता है
उनका
उनका।
दे विल नॉट बी एबल टू एडजस्ट विद दिस क्राउड, ऐसा है। तो
ओके, तो दो
इनका
फिर,
इनका फिर बाद में आगे जाके वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसा लाइक यू आर टू मच, लाइक दैट, ऐसा।
या बट आई हैव सीन जैसे श्रुति सागर
हाँ,
प्रभु, उनका क्या, ही केम हियर आफ्टर 12th and then he did
हाँ,
his undergrad everything. He mixes more with the American than with the Indians.
नो
So
ही
there are
ही इज
exceptions. There,
एक्सेप्शनल माता जी।
हाँ, he
ही
is
इज।
exceptional. He is really. और उसको तो देखो लड़की मिल ही नहीं रहा, पहले कितना कालाकांता प्रभु ने अमृता का बोला, और ये तो उस टाइम पढ़ती थी, कहते हैं टू मच ऑफ लोड ऑन माय हेड, आई कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग ऑफ मैरिज। तो मैंने मना कर दिया कालाकांता प्रभु को, बाद में इसने फिर हाँ भी बोला एक बारी, तो मैंने फिर हाँ बोला। कालाकांता प्रभु से नो नो माता जी, इट डजंट वर्क लाइक दिस, फर्स्ट यस देन फर्स्ट नो देन यस। फिर मैंने बोला छोड़ो, लाइक अब मैं क्या करूं।
ये जो ये जो मैक्स डोनेट भी है ना, ये अभी
हाँ,
दो माई बोल रहे हैं आप, या मैक्स, आप थोड़ा सर्च रखो आपका, यानी कि इसका कालाकांता प्रभु को भी पूछ सकते हैं, व्हाट इज योर थॉट ऑन दिस
एक्चुअली
बॉय।
अगर आप लोग कालाकांता प्रभु से बात कर ले, आई कैन शेयर हिज नंबर।
नो बट वी डोंट हैव हिज कॉन्टेक्ट, लाइक कनेक्शन नहीं है ना उनसे, उनके साथ वो
कनेक्शन
प्रॉब्लम।
नहीं है, तो यू कैन
हाँ,
जस्ट मेंशन।
तो यू हैव टू बी अ ब्रिज बिटवीन अस, तो थोड़ा इजी हो जाएगा वॉइस।
Yeah. So what I can do is I can always message, because he was our like our father when we went to Gainesville. I didn't know anyone there. He told us apartment बिल्कुल पास में लेना, because she was not able to study from Krishna House. She needed own space. तो उन्होंने बोला इस लेन में लेना. We used to ask him. बाद में मुझे लगा इतने सीनियर है, हमने क्या क्या क्वेश्चन इनको पूछे और क्या क्या मटेरियल हेल्प लिया. But he was always there to guide, and he'll always say कि So मैं ऐसे कर सकती हूँ, मैं उनको पूछ सकती हूँ कि we know someone and they're looking for a बिकॉज वो तो सब यूथ में डील कर रहे हैं. सब यूथ में आश्रम्स बना रहे हैं, कर रहे हैं, like that. एंड उन्होंने ऐसा नहीं है कि अमेरिकन से कनेक्टेड है वो, अभी एक और आपके गुरु भाई हैं, उनकी शादी कराई, एक इंडियन बॉय एंड गर्ल की शादी कराई जो अलचवा में रहते थे, उनकी वेडिंग भी कराई कालाकांता प्रभु ने, और उनकी वाइफ ने, उन्होंने इनिशिएशन दिया, उनके हस्बैंड राधानाथ महाराज के डिसाइपल है, मुझे नाम याद नहीं आ रहा, बट ही इज इंजीनियर, एंड शादी भी कराई दोनों की, और इनिशिएशन भी दिया उनकी वाइफ को. So, and even I don't know whether you know, very famous
Mataji,
from
my meeting will start in 2 minutes now.
Yeah. Okay, Prabhuji, I will also try to find out, and then let's
Yes,
see how
Mataji.
we can go
Yeah.
about, and somehow something will work out for Samradhini, I'm sure.
Sure, Mataji.
Krishna has arrangements, yeah. Okay,
Yes,
Hare
yes.
Krishna. Hare
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, nice
Krishna.
talking.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare